There he is. Oh, we got a doubler tonight. A double
I
doser
know,
right off the
special
bat there.
night.
Yo, YouTube. Welcome back to the Dollar Box. It's your host, Adam, and
Not Charlie, but
not
Stewie.
and Charlie. Good old little modest Charlie there. So I was gonna kind of start this off by saying, hey, look at Milwaukee. Yeah, they don't look so good. They just gave up like 4 runs in this past inning, so
It's only the sixth
I don't know.
inning.
6
We
to 3.
rally.
I don't
Tyrone
know.
Wheeler, late
We'll
homer.
see. We'll see. I got it. I got it on one of my screens. So Cubs are at home relaxing. No pressure this year. It's great. They had to de-stress. After winning the whole thing in 2016, it takes a lot out of you. So
They're still recovering from that, huh?
still 108 years to get there. It's another 15 to 20 at least to finish your celebration, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
So we got quite a few chatters already in the live here. So welcome everybody. Looks like we've got the Bargain Boxer on here, MD Sports Cards, Tom Bullard. I talked to can't think of his name. Troy. Anyway, he said that he had something to do tonight. He'll join us later. So we know for sure we have a couple more that are coming on later. Anyway, let's get started. We have a lot to do tonight. Just kind of touch on the things that we were looking to cover. We have some topics. Brewers were going to be number one. I don't know how long a topic that's going to be. Might be
Hey.
three short innings and they're on vacation. But also the Bucks signing Damian Lillard. Ironically enough, today I watched Space Jam Legacy, the LeBron James version.
Sure.
Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah.
And Damian Lillard's in that. I didn't know that. And he's like, game time. It's game time. I'm like, oh, no. Do we have to hear that all year long? So anyway, for those who don't know, Charlie and I are in this lovely state of Wisconsin. So Wisco. So those are the kind of the two big things going on sports-wise in our state. My daughter is in Scouts, and we live about a block from Jordan Love. And so the last 2 nights, they've been going around selling the popcorn and doing that kind of thing. Her and a new scout that's joining that lives in our area. And they went to Jordan Love's house, but sadly, no one was home. So unfortunately, we didn't get to sell popcorn to Jordan Love. But, maybe in the future, we'll see.
Bummer.
Yeah. So that kind of covers the Wisconsin sports situations we're in. Other than the fact that, of course, Milwaukee is playing right now tonight. If they lose, they're out. If they win, they got to play one more, and they're down to Arizona 6-3 in the 7th inning, I think now, right?
6-3. I'm seeing 5-2 yet.
I see 6-3. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the final. You're right. I'm looking at the wrong one. 5-2, top of the 6th.
Not much different.
Not really. I'm, three run difference either way. But anyway, so the other thing we wanted to cover was rotating listing priority. We kind of talked about this in the past, but maybe coming up with a few new ideas for that, especially with adding some non-sport stuff in there. We want to talk about, does a playoff push have any impact? Obviously, the baseball playoffs are happening right now, and does that change anything as far as what you should list and your sales and things like that? And then also researching. We wanted to cover that a little bit. How do you find out what cards to buy, what cards are worth, things like that, sources where you can get that information. And then we've got a special surprise tonight. Charlie's got a nice box that he picked up from Wildcard. I think it's 6 autos, right? 6 autos on football.
Yeah. We'll see when I open it.
Fun rips. You guys know I love to rip the wild card. I'll rip that stuff on the channel here and there. My man Anthony Richardson was a big pull out of my last box, so hopefully you hit something like that. But I think before we do the box rip, I've got something I want to show you, Charlie, that I bought I bought this because it was something I didn't have in stock. I thought it was pretty cool, but it's totally up your alley because you're a big Wizard of Oz fan. Is that correct?
Ooh, I am a big Wizard of Oz fan.
Okay, let me know if you've ever seen these. You know what this is?
That is a sticker,
Yes.
and that is Dorothy, but it is a different version of Dorothy.
How about this?
Gump.
Mm-hmm. How
Was
about
this
this?
from? That looks kind of like Jack Skellington. TikTok. Where did you get these? Is this like a promo collection or something?
No, this is from the magical land of eBay. Here's Toto.
I don't know what version this is, but there are like 9 different versions.
Let's see, here's Ozma. You really don't remember this? Yeah,
No,
this one's gonna give it away. Ready?
and I don't
Can you read
remember
that?
this one.
The Return to Oz. You don't remember
Yeah,
the
but
Return to Oz?
I don't remember this version.
Yeah, so it's there's 44 different sticker cards. Of course, it's like all the other packs from that time frame, where you got cards and then one sticker.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up an entire sticker set. I had to have it. So yeah, the 44 stickers I get to
So
add in. I didn't list any of them yet today, but I thought you'd dig those. I thought that you'd think that was
yeah,
pretty cool.
that's pretty cool. And fun fact, and a shout out to my 5th and 6th grade teacher and was our principal at the time, Mr. Gary Parrott. He runs the Land of Oz Museum in Wasaki, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And you would not believe the Oz collectibles he has. It's amazing. He took an old VFW building and bought it, took it over, and curated his collection and found a spot for everything in there. And it is truly amazing.
Yeah, I gotta get up there at some point and check that out. Sounds pretty cool. I like Wizard of Oz. I mean, how can you not?
Right.
It's got a pretty important place in history. So, yeah. So that was the big thing I wanted to show you. My pickup. I really like that. Did pick up some Jordan stuff. I'm not going to show that as just some base stuff. There was a Provisions card in there. I'm just trying to add. My Jordan drawer is going like this.
Is it?
So I'm trying to find the right deals and buy piles of those and get them listed. As soon as you list them, they sell. So, and kind of touching on the point we talked about earlier about rotating listing priority, now's the time to start getting that basketball on because they're going to be starting some of their preseason stuff and trades are going to be finishing up and that kind of thing. So,
right.
But I did have a really nice Star Wars card order today.
That's all one order?
Yeah, all these to one buyer is like $140 some. So that was nice. It's a lady shopping for her husband as a gift, and she said she bought 2 cards right away from me, and then she messaged me and she's like, "You got like all kinds of stuff that I want." She's like, "Can I just send you a list?"
I like that.
And yeah, especially on non-sport because basically people just give you the card numbers. It's a little easier than like, oh, I want this Jerry Rice and I want this Joe Montana, and then you kind of got to dig out everywhere. Anyway, yeah, she gave me a nice list of a bunch of different Star Wars sets of stuff she needed. I had a good chunk of them. I didn't have everything she needed, but pretty good chunk. I offered her, kind of a bulkish deal. I mean, I sell cards as singles at retail, so I'm not going to give her the same deal I would expect to get.
Right.
Buying it, but there's definitely some good profit in those. But yeah, so that was a nice sale. So she bought a few of the Series 5, which are orange, a few of the Series 3, which are yellow, some of the Series 4, which are green, and then a bunch of Series 2, which are red, and then 2 cards from Series 1, which are the blue Starfield. That's the one everybody knows. She paid a little bit more for those. I don't really give a deal on those. They're pretty good demand. So, non-sport, killing it right now. So, I think my listing priority is a little bit of sport and a little bit of non-sport, a little bit of sport, a little bit of non-sport. As far as which sport, I don't know. I don't know if it really matters or not. Football's kind of weird. I would think during the season, like for what we sell, I would think during the season would be better for sales.
Okay.
Right? Because I sell a base Patrick Mahomes card, right? Who's going to buy that? Not somebody who's like, oh, I got to buy this in the off season so I can flip it as soon as the season starts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not the card you buy for that. We're selling to a collector or a lady who is buying cards for her husband to complete his sets. Those are our customers. That's why I kind of argue when it's like, oh, you have to buy in the off season and listen, and I'm like, I don't think that's true. For what we do, I almost think in a way it's better to list during the season. I'd rather have my home stuff right now I can put up because I'm selling more of that than I am the preseason basketball stuff. My one exception to that would be brand new products, right? So,
Okay.
you rip, like this wild card stuff, right? You want to get that on right away. You don't want, because you can age out of the product. Like let's say Bowman Chrome baseball is probably a good example, or Bowman baseball. You want to list that stuff as soon as you can because you have to grab those early prospectors, and you want to, once that product's been out there for a bit, the people who wanted to scarf up the stuff they were looking for kind of have it. So unless you hit one of one superfractors, and then you can sell one back to Topps. Did you hear about that?
I heard a little bit about that. Yeah.
And the bounties are pretty solid. One of the players is like 75,000 they're going to give you if you send it to them. One is 20-some thousand. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Oh, I got one other gift for you. My shirt today. Can you see what that says? Argentina.
Okay. Oh, look at that! You got Stuart all excited.
Yeah. I got the goat on today. So my birthday was this weekend. This is a gift from my wife for my birthday. So
nice.
I figured I had to save it for show night, and it made the most sense.
Yeah.
So here it is. And it's kind of nice because it's like a sky blue. It's a little hard to tell on camera, but it's like a sky.
It's almost
blue.
like a Brewers shirt.
It's kind of, the colors. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I mean, they had a good season. You're right. So I can wear the shirt this one. I can wear this shirt for their final game of the season.
Well, it looks like we got a lot of chat already tonight. Look at that.
Yeah, well, let's start jumping on to some of that here.
Before you get too far behind.
They don't want to listen to us talk. Stuart, you're late. Hey, this is probably the most on time-ish we've been in weeks. Some due to my fault, some due to just how things go. But generally, the way it works for the behind-the-scenes folks who like that sort of thing, I get on, I create a link for the video, I invite Charlie as the guest of the show. Charlie has to take that link, and then he has to come in and join the studio, as they call it, the virtual studio. And then we kind of chat a little bit about what we're going to do. We set up our cameras, especially today we've got an extra camera so we can show the rip. It just takes a little bit of time, and with busy lives, we're trying to get everything to fit in. Pretty soon, Charlie will be a little bit more available without football.
5 more practices left on the season.
5 more practices? You're counting the practices down?
Yep. 2 games, 5 practices.
Practice!
Yeah.
Yo, it's Wednesday. You bet your sweet bippy it is. Thank you for joining us, MD Sports Cards. Charlie, I did a deal with your son in Green Bay. Good kid. How about that?
Did he really work you over on a deal? I'm curious.
He better have, or what the hell are you teaching this kid?
I'm guessing it was my youngest, and that kid is a negotiator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's fine all on his own. I listened to him a couple times. He's pretty good. Tom has joined us. Good evening, friends and fellow cardboard junkies and addicts. That's a pretty good description of our little group here.
Yeah.
Cardboard Critters has joined us, checking in. Made a killing at the Lena Card Show last Saturday. I was gonna go to that one, didn't make it. I had some other plans jumping on me, but
like a birthday.
No, we got the fence panels in for our park because we own a park, and we were doing a movie in the park on Saturday night for all the residents. And there's like potholes and stuff where the fencing used to be. Just to sort of give a background story, we got hit by a tornado like a year ago, and it ripped all the trees out of our park, and it wrecked all our park equipment, like dented it all and everything. All the tree, 20-foot around trees just pulled right out of the ground. It was crazy. So for the last year, and a few months, we've been raising money to replace park equipment, plant some trees, fill in holes, get grass, all that kind of stuff. And so all that stuff was done. It was just kind of putting in the fence panels back up. And we really wanted to have that done for movie in the park. We didn't want somebody, tripping in the holes and stuff. So we had the panels. I used a new product to set the posts. Have you seen that expanding foam post setter?
Yeah.
Stuff? Mm-hmm. Holy cow, is that stuff cool? It's expensive though. But
I haven't used it.
It wasn't my money. It was all of ours money. So, it works amazingly well. It's super, super cool stuff. No water needed, nothing. It's awesome. I don't think I would use it on 8-foot panel fencing, I would probably want to go deeper, and I'd want cement and that kind of thing for that, because you don't want them shifting and stuff. But this is like that where it's like the post and then there's 2 rails that come out of it. So it's the shorter stuff, I can't think what it's called. Post and rail, or rail and post, or something like, I don't know. Anyway, so I was like, it was more sufficient for that. Nobody's gonna be climbing this or anything like that. The deer just jump over the fence; they don't care.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had to do that Saturday morning, and then another Packer thing. So then Saturday night, my daughter was going to a friend's birthday party, and apparently one of the kids that goes to her school or whatever is in her class, her dad's a Packer player. So I didn't know who he was, but he's a large man with fancy hairdo and all that kind of stuff. So it didn't sort of shock me when somebody told me that's who it was. It was kind of an interesting evening. But yeah, I missed the Lena Card Show. I'm glad it was a good one. I look forward to going to that one in the future. I do kind of have my card calendar set. I think I shared that with you, didn't I, Trevor?
Yes, you did.
Through basically through the end of the year, barring anything else coming up. But yeah, I'll be able to get out to a lot more in the next few weeks. I'm looking forward to that. Card Vibe has joined us. I'm here for the goat.
You bet you are.
You better recognize. Tom, how about my Buffalo Bills? Tried to warn everyone. MIA. Miami was 2-8 with a 168-point differential. Not winning in Buffalo since Xmas Eve 2016. So history dictated a Buffalo win, but nobody wanted to listen. Shake my head. Yeah, I think the Dolphins are one of those teams where they're gonna. They kind of remind me of the Cowboys. And I'm gonna clarify what I mean by that. They'll beat a really good team by 4 touchdowns, and then they'll lose to the Jets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what the Cowboys do. Every year, the Cowboys, it's all false hopes, right? Kind of like the Brewers,
That game's not over, so you shut it, mister.
It's I'm probably gonna mention something once it ends, though, just so you know. Yeah, no, I think Buffalo's. I mean, Buffalo's a real team. They won a lot of games. They're in the playoff hunt every year. I don't think anybody was completely shocked by that. Miami does look good. They have a great offense. Defense is pretty solid. Um, but yeah, I wasn't completely shocked that they beat Miami. So
You mean
too
you
many
didn't
cards.
think they were going to
So
score 70 every week?
no. Mm-mm. No, and the kids, scoring the running back scoring 4 touchdowns each, and that's not a real thing.
Right.
Um, not on an every week basis. And if they have to do that in order to win games, then they're really screwed. So
Yeah.
they better have more defense than that. Too many card shows, not enough money to go around. Yeah, well, that's the story of pretty much all things in life. Uh, it's even harder if you're going to the show expecting to make money.
Yeah.
Then that changes the game quite a bit going on that. Let's see. Tom says if you sent out an offer, the person counters and you accept, how long do you normally wait to cancel and relist if they haven't paid? Checked feedback and seen 2 other sellers deal with something from this buyer. I I get a lot of sales, so I don't really keep that much track of them. If you watch how I do my daily routine in the morning, first thing I do is I send out invoices to everybody who hasn't paid. The day before, like if it was the day before, if they just ordered, I'm not going to send them a reminder invoice, but anything from the previous day and before, I send them a reminder, and then I let eBay handle it. I know you and I talked about this, Charlie, early on, and you're like, well, what do I do with this? And I cancel it, and set your listing so that when they get canceled, they relist, and then they'll go a certain number of days and remind them each morning. And if they don't pay, eBay will complete that cancel and relist when the time comes. I was kind of worried about that when I was switching from people having to automatically pay when an offer was accepted to me being able to invoice them. And the reason I did that is because people will check out 2 or 3 cards, and I don't want each one paid individually because you'd pay more fees that way. And so I was kind of worried, like, well, geez, if they made offers, I kind of want to get paid right away and not have to, deal with a non-payment. But I don't really run into that very much. I mean, I might have 1 or 2 of them, every couple of weeks that get canceled and relisted. Nothing big usually. So, but yeah, that's the way I do it. I think. Do you do it the same way, Charlie?
Pretty much. I don't send an invoice every morning. I usually give them a couple days, 2-3 days, 2 tree, as we like to say around here.
Yeah, 2 3.
And
A couple 2 3.
right. So I'll give them a little bit of time, and then if they haven't sent one, I tend to like to give them like a weekend, and then Sundays are kind of my days to say, okay, I'm going to send an invoice, and I usually have a standard message that I include with it that says, hey, thank you for your order. Your card is pulled and ready to ship as soon as I receive your payment, send. And 9 times out of 10, by the next morning, it's paid. If it's not, I usually wait, maybe 2 days. And by that point, I've already got the approval from eBay to cancel it if I want to. And if I feel like, I don't think this guy's going to pay, or it's a card where I'm like, I know I can move that through someone else pretty quickly, I'll go ahead and cancel it.
Sure. Yeah, I don't even send a message. I literally just hit the send invoice button and hit send. So it literally just sends them the bill again. I don't
It's
say like,
part of
hey,
the invoice, though. Like there's
probably,
a little bot,
yeah, but I don't like type anything in or do. I want me. I want as little work as I possibly can have. If eBay's gonna do it for me, I give eBay enough friggin' money. They can send the cancels and the relists, and they email you when they do it. They'll say, hey, this item was canceled. You don't have to do anything. It's been relisted. You should be able to go into your new listings and boom, see that item relisted. When I run into this the most is generally when it's an international buyer and they buy more than one card, because they don't realize you cannot combine an invoice on an international order, which is annoying as crap.
Sure.
because should still be able to send 3 cards at a reasonable shipping rate to an international person. So usually what I'll do is if I just had an international order for some Beavis and Butthead cards, ordered 4 or 5 different cards. Usually what I'll do is I'll just contact that person and I'll say, hey, do you want me to just create a listing with these 5 cards, send it to you so you pay the 1 shipping fee, and I'll cancel your other ones. And that usually takes care of it. So I don't fret on it too much, because if I run into that situation, I know what to do. And usually the buyer's pretty cool about it. They're like, yeah, that'd be great, and I'll pay you right away. And they're happy to be able to get 5 cards that they want, for the $16 shipping fee or whatever the heck is charged for that international envelope rate or small package rate. I think it's called a packet rate or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how I do it. I let eBay take care of it, and I have other things to do. So you might want to try that and see if that works for you. Tom's clarifies says Return to Oz. Yeah, that's you have to watch it, Charlie. If you've never seen it, you better watch that. It's a good show.
I think there's a more modern version called Return to Oz too, and I think I've seen that one, but that one looked like it was like 70s or something.
There's yeah, it's 80s, 83, I think, 82, 83.
Okay.
There's also just Oz. That's another one. Yep. There was a series out a few years ago. Oz. Yeah. There was a series out a few years ago called The Tin Man. That one's really, really good. It's kind of more, it's told and filmed a little bit more like an Alice in Wonderland type of thing.
Yeah.
That one's pretty good. So there's lots of Oz stuff out there. Well, and then of course you've got the Michael Jackson musical one. Gosh, what is that called? I can't think of the name of it.
Wiz.
The Wiz. Thank you. The Wiz. That's great too. So
Diana Ross.
Yep, Diana Ross. Yep. Urethra Franklin says, "Show Charlie yours, and he will show you his." What up? Here it is.
I don't think he's talking goats.
You all can see it. Do not go down the rabbit goat hole. Or goat.
The rabbit goat hole.
Rabbit goat hole. Do not go down the rabbit goat hole.
It just opened up.
Close it. Close it quick, or you'll never return. Creepy, weird flying bed with moose head, Wizard of Oz. Yep, that's about it. There was a moose head on the bed. You're right. Yeah, it's a trippy tale. You gotta watch it. Return to Oz. Yep. The Fairuza Balk as Dorothy. Oh, with Fairuza Balk as Dorothy. Yeah, I don't know who that is, but yeah, so it's, the little girl who plays Dorothy is really good in it.
I'll take your word for it.
She's different. She's different. It's kind of like, remember when Sissy Spacek started doing films when she was a kid? You know who Sissy Spacek is?
Coal miner's daughter?
Yeah. You could just, watching her on film, you're like, this person's different. Like, made it really accessible for her to get interesting roles.
I never had that reaction as Sissy Spacek.
Oh, really? See, I did. I've been grabbing the Topps American Pie singles, grabbed a Matt Groening and Bill Gates. It's funny you mentioned that because, let's see, I did some American Pie today too. Where the heck did I put them though? Yeah, right here I did Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, right? Jackie O. I've got a few soccer players, and I got Cat Osterman, the softball pitching legend. So yeah, I've been listening to a little bit of American Pie stuff too. So great cards, completely underrated. So glad to see somebody else appreciates them. 2011. I think these were. I think the ones I just showed. I think these are 2012. Yeah, these are 2012. The ones I was listing. Soccer's been doing really well for you, Leaf, at that. Yeah, soccer's been doing well for me too. I've been selling a lot of Cristiano Ronaldo lately, which is weird because his name doesn't come up much, especially not since he's playing in the Middle East. But I mean, Messi is killing it right now. With Miami and playing in the United States. I have to pick up the latest issue of Sports Illustrated for Kids too. My subscription must not have kicked in yet, but he's got a Miami card. in the issue, so I have to go buy a couple of those tomorrow. But yeah, soccer does real well. There's a lot of sellers who skip soccer. I don't get that. It's such a huge international market. There's so many great leagues and players, and they make some cool cards. All the companies have licensing, so you can get Panini licensed soccer cards. You can get Topps licensed soccer cards. I don't believe Leaf does any licensing, so the Leaf would be unlicensed. But yeah, I'm hoping at some point maybe Wildcard would do some soccer. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think starting an inventory, you play the seasons. Yeah, that's a good point. Average Dave's cards. Welcome, by the way. That's a good point. You're right. And again, a big reason we did this show was we had somebody who was new doing this. Oh, Charlie's over here. New doing this, and somebody who's been doing this for a while. And sometimes I forget. Yeah, there are people that don't have 30,000 listings. They have 25 listings. Well, it's really important what they list because they don't have a lot of exposure out there. So I think you make a good point. If you're just starting to list stuff, probably go with whatever is the next sport that's coming up. That would probably be a good choice. Do you agree, Charlie?
I absolutely agree. That's kind of the approach I took.
Yeah, and I think even now you still do it somewhat. You have a decent number of listings, but you don't have a ton of listings. So you still think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't have any football on here. I don't have any this on. What I spend most of my time doing, like as far as what I'm gonna buy, because I'm not buying the hot thing or the expensive thing anyway. I think about what don't I have, or what have I sold a lot of. Earlier I just talked about, this is a good chunk of 77 Star Wars that I just sold. I'm gonna start looking for big lots to buy again. So I kind of go more towards, and obviously that's non-sport anyway, but I tend to gravitate more towards, either what I've sold a lot of, or what I just feel like I'm kind of down on. I've been selling a ton of Jeter the last few months, and my Jeter drawers are starting to kind of get droopy. So I'm going to have to look for a big Jeter lot, but I'm going to try to wait until postseason to do that. Because because of Jeter, because of who Jeter is, even though the Yankees are out already anyway. I think I can get a few bucks less if I buy him when nobody's thinking baseball. So that's kind of my one plan with that is, well, maybe I'll wait to buy. I want to buy my piles of Ohtani stuff. It's still a little too early for that. I'll probably wait until after the MVP announcement and all that kind of garbage before I look for his stuff again.
Yeah, I think it is good to have a plan, though. I mean, sometimes I'll grab things at random just because I'm like, I don't want to think about it. Just grab a random handful and surprise me, But most of the time, I have a plan going in of what I want to do. So, to your point earlier, when I was starting off with, 100 cards, it was, okay, I have 100 baseball cards out there. I need to get something else out there. So, let's grab some of these football cards or some NASCAR and get those out there and some non-sport. Yep. Now I have, I'm looking at my listings right now. I have 1,374 listings right now. Now it's more about trying to cater to the buyers that I've been kind of cultivating, right? And the name of my store and what it's getting known for, which, by the way, is fast shipping and good packaging, and great customer service. But so just the last couple of days is a great example. I had a lot of baseball out there. So the last month, I would say, I really focused a lot on getting more of soccer and F1 and basketball. Basketball is a big one, too, that I've been trying to build up. Yeah. And the other day I said to myself, well, gosh, the people I started to serve in baseball haven't gotten any new offerings in a while. I need to grab some baseball and give them some new options. So I grabbed a small handful of random, but I also grabbed some curated selections to say, okay, let me give them some nice cards that you don't see every day to choose from as well, along with a lot of these other base cards I'm listing as well. And then the next day it was, okay, I listed baseball yesterday. Let me get some of these basketball cards back out there. And then it was, boy, I've got some guys that buy up these Sport Kings cards, and I haven't listed those in a week or two now. Let me grab some of these Sport Kings I still have here and get those listed. And then it turns into the players. Oh, Coach Prime is, on the TV every Saturday. I know I got some Prime in here. Let me get them. I listed 10 Prime cards and sold 2 in the first 24 hours, so.
Yeah, you're kind of at the point of what I do on a regular basis, just sort of look at where are the holes, and that's what I list, okay, great. It's pre-basketball. I should get some Ja Morant. Well, I have a bunch of Ja Morant listed. I don't have to rush out and list it, I guess I look at it more I always look at the business building more on my buying side. So if I go to a show and I'm low on Jordans, I need to buy some more Jordans. But if I don't find any good Jordans that I can sell for a profit, but I find a bunch of Deion Sanders, I'm going to buy the Deion Sanders and I'm going to list them. So I mean, it still is kind of driven by what do you have to list. If you don't, great, I want to put more Jordans in my drawer, but I don't have any to list, so that doesn't do me any good. I have to move on to something else. I got to list, 1,000 Ren and Stimpy cards. Right?
Flashy.
They're shiny. 3 variations per card and a sticker version. So that set is ginormous. All right. Tom says agree. List current top players in the sport going on unless a trade or big news during offseason like Trevor Bauer news. Just absurd. Best pitcher in MLB. Too big a suspension. Over lives. Yeah, the Trevor Bauer thing is weird. I don't know too much about it, and I don't carry a bunch of Trevor Bauer cards, so I guess I don't care much. But I know he's eccentric, and I think that's probably cost him the sport. That's not the sport that likes outgoing, strange personality types. You know what I mean? It's not as celebrated as the kind of the unique personalities in the NFL or basketball. Soccer, I guess, yeah. You're not going to see Mike Trout in a club, carrying a gun, right? They like more of the sort of let your playing speak mentality type players as generally do better. I don't know. So that's the only thing I can think of them why they're giving them such a hard time trying to squash down things that make him stand out in a bad way, I guess. MD Sports agrees with me. I don't think lower end stuff has a huge movement season to season. There's probably some, but not like the bigger singles. But like I said, new releases are a different story. Yeah, because some things are time sensitive, which is different than season sensitive. That's kind of why I wanted to point that out, because I think new products are still something that's the thing you have to get on the soonest. After you buy. Let's see. Don't forget to like Stewie and scream at that like button until it concedes.
There you go, Tom.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Instead of the old typical smash the like button, we should say scream at that like button. Yeah. I like it. I like it. That's awesome. Buyback bounties on every product. Go Fanatics. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very regular thing. I heard a theory today, and I don't think it's true because it's conspiracy, but thought that they actually made 2 one-of-ones on purpose. Sent them out because they kind of had this press release thing with this bounty, and they put up $750,000 right on the spot to buy these cards back. And so there's been some sideways talk about, did they do this just to create some hype and get those boxes ripped? And I don't know. I mean, I guess they could have.
Possible.
Seems to me they could have just said, we're going to offer bounties in this product. done with it, you know. Instead of, because if they were going to do it on purpose, why wouldn't you make like a legit Superfractor one of one, and then you could have another one of one that was like a redemption for the bounty, right? That would be more fun, because then you'd have one person would get the legit Superfractor, and because now, let's say you and somebody else pulls a Superfractor, it's a race to Fanatics. Whoever gets their copy there first is the one who gets the bounty. You know.
Oh,
I think it would be cool, like if they just okay, so like in action figures, they make like a chase action figure, right? It's like usually a paint variant, or they have a different prop in it, or something like that, and they're random per cases or something. Why don't they do this in all their products? Why don't they have like a bounty hunter card, right? So like it would have, you know, this is LeBron James. So let's say it had, you know, LeBron James and it has like wanted, and then it's got like, you know, LeBron and send this card in for, or redeem this card for a $15,000 bounty. You know what I mean? Something like that. I think that would
or
be
he has
way
like
cooler.
Beskar armor on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like Star Wars. Yeah. I don't want to Star Wars the sports cards. But yeah, I think that would be cool, because at least like you'd be pulling a cool card. You could actually choose. You could be like, well, I don't want the 15 grand. I'll keep the cool card. You know, maybe that card would sell for 15 grand outside of the bounty, and then Fanatics doesn't even have to cover the bounty. Like right now, I don't think they did this on purpose anyway, but they have to cover that. There's no choice. Like the Superfractor is the Superfractor. It's not a special card. Um, Outside of the fact that there's two of them and there should have been one.
Right.
Now, how did two end up in the products? That's the other thing.
Quality control.
Yeah, I'm assuming they make a second sheet as like a backup in case it's damaged or something like that, but how does that get cut and inserted? You'd think the Superfractors, they'd be watching those pretty closely, since they're the most coveted cards in the release, that you wouldn't have an extra sheet of those, you know, going out somewhere.
Maybe a peek behind the curtain, we'd all be surprised at how simple that process really is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're all still hand collated. I don't think machines are shoving them into packs. If I remember correctly, not on the stuff Fanatics produces. I don't know. Well, I think we'll learn more about that as they start to make more products. MD Sports Card says, yeah, your son came back to the table multiple times. He had a hat and glasses on, always was respectful and good to deal with.
That sounds like my oldest, the redhead.
That's the other kid.
Yeah.
That's not the prime negotiator.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Card Vibe wants to thank us. Ooh, I wouldn't do that. You have me checking out non-sport tables at shows. Yes, non-sport for the win. There are days where like today, there are days where my non-sport makes my sales day.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't sell enough LeBron James today, but I sold enough Star Wars today. So, it's just such a great avenue to stretch out with. Pop culture is always going to be something that hangs around. There's great stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. You know, there's lots of different sets. I really like the music cards are kind of starting to take off. I had somebody buy 3 copies of A Tribe Called Quest card today. Love that band. I saw them live. I saw them open for the Beastie Boys. That was a hell of a show.
Can you kick it?
Can you kick it? They were actually a late fill-in because it was supposed to be Foo Schnickens with Shaq.
Ooh.
Remember when Shaq did a tour with Foo Schnickens?
Yeah.
And Foo Schnickens with Shaq was supposed to open, and I don't remember why they couldn't be there. I was in college, so a lot of that was a haze. I don't remember most of it. But I remember them saying, "Oh, A Tribe Called Quest is going to open for the Beastie Boys instead," and I was like, "Okay, that sounds cool." And yeah, they were awesome. Came across the table 2 weeks ago with non-sport sets, and the couple had a Star Wars 77 Series 1 box. I got it. The find of a lifetime. It's legit. I can see perfect roller marks. Sending it to BBCE. Yeah, I would love an unopened box. Would be amazing. If you don't mind posting, can you post what you paid for it? Because those are getting pretty pricey. It wasn't BBCE, so I'm guessing you got it for cheaper than what like a verified sealed or a BBC wrapped box would been, but that's pretty awesome. Cardboard Critter says, "Wish I could have." I don't. Oh, wish I could have shown my pickups from Lena. Yeah, you got to send me some pics. You were gonna do that. He got a nice Favre lot. He said, buying up my stuff. But he got a nice Favre lot, so I wanted to see what was in there. Let's see, BGS 9.5 Jude Bellingham rookie at a 199, so don't want to wait when kid is super hot in soccer at the moment. Yes, he is dominating. Normally we just wait it out, but it's $100 slab. It's not looking to screw myself with injury or something. Yeah, I would sell it. He's not going to be like, it's going to be, if he's going to be one of the greatest of all time, it's going to be a long time before he gets even close to that mark. Soccer, you're talking, you got to play 20, 25 years before you're really recognized as a top player, because there's so many leagues, there's so many players. You really got to have some dominating numbers for a long period of time. I'd take the money on that. I think even if you waited 25 years, other than inflation, I don't know how much more money it's going to get you if you're just looking to get money out of it. Okay, Tom says, okay, 2 days is what I was thinking after my first 2 days of sending messages and invoices, so appreciate both y'all's input. Yeah, I would say 2 days is a little short. I think eBay does 4 days, or the fourth day they cancel it, I believe. And that seems a little bit more, because like Charlie said, maybe they bought it on a Friday and they don't check their email or their eBay over the weekend, and get back to work on Monday and they go, oh, the guy accepted my offer, I'll pay him for the card. I don't know that I'd want it shut down in 2 days. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's a fine line. You don't want it to feel like you're nagging them and kind of turning them off of shopping in your store too, especially if there's legitimate times people have every intention of paying for it. It's just not the first thing on their mind, right? Like, yeah. And I occasionally have people message me on that, and I really appreciate it when they do. I'll have someone send me a message and say, hey, I know I didn't pay on this yet. I still want it, but I'm going to pay it on Sunday or Friday when I get paid or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get a lot of messages like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I get a lot of those too. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. As long as I know, when to expect it, it's fine by me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's when you get totally ghosted where you're like, okay, here's an invoice. Here's an invoice. Here's an invoice. I want to give the person every opportunity to try to pay for it, because you don't want non-paying strikes on your account. So that's the way I look at it. I'm actually helping them. Yeah, obviously I want to get paid and I want to ship them the card. But I want to make sure that, they are operating correctly in their account and they're paying for their buys to keep their standing. Value Box Digger has joined us. I think this is your first time on the show, so welcome. I welcome you, Charlie welcomes you, and Stuart. Stuart welcomes you emphatically. He does everything emphatically. He goes where we say something, positive and nice and, calming inflection. That's not how Stu operates. He's in your face. You're going to get it.
Yeah. You never have to guess with Stu.
No. He wears his emotions on his mouth, on his tongue, on his tongue, on his tongue. Shank.
I
don't know. Anyway, value box. Now you're regretting that you came here, aren't you?
There's that rabbit goat hole again.
Rabbit goat hole. You gotta watch out for that. It's a slippery hole. Hey guys, always watch your replays next morning. Thanks for the content. Curious, are you guys on Instagram or Twitter? What's your handles? Hey Charlie, am I on Twitter?
On the twatter? No.
Yeah. Well, that's correct. I do not twat. I don't twat. I do have an Instagram. It's I think it's PT Benz. I don't even remember. I don't do much on it. Usually, all I post on there is links to my YouTube videos. So just because I have some followers on Instagram, and I figure I'll post the video there. If somebody wants to grab the link and watch it from there, that's fine. But I don't post a lot of like card pictures and stuff like that. It's not really my thing.
Yeah.
I'm an old dude, so being on YouTube is enough stretch out for me most days.
Yeah, I have an account for both. I do not. I rarely go to Instagram because every time I do, I end up killing an hour of my life I can never get back. And then Twitter, I maybe check every once in a while if there's something that interests me, but I don't do any business out there. I am also old, as you can tell by my gray beard now. But what really says I'm old is I still use Facebook a lot.
Yeah, I don't even really use Facebook much anymore. I like it for events because all my homeowners association stuff is on there. All the stuff for Luna Scout stuff is on there. Card shows. So I like it for that. It's easy to add stuff to my calendar and that kind of thing. But to me, Instagram is like photos, basically, right? It's like Twitter but photos.
Photos and videos. Yeah.
And like, I don't really look at photo. I don't know if I want to see photos of any. I don't know. It's not really
And
my
by the way,
thing.
the
So.
kids call it IG.
IG, sure. Okay. But yeah, I don't. Twitter is like following celebrities and athletes and stuff. I don't do any of that. So, I don't even have a Twitter. I might have a Twitter account from like lots of years ago, but I've never logged into it in I don't know, quite a long time. I have no idea.
Honestly, though, so on the social page for your store, you can connect it to all your social accounts, and I probably will connect to those at some point,
Mhm.
and try to hit all three if I can do it all together and not have to do it all separately. Right now, I publish things from my store on my I have a business Facebook page, and I recently did my first card video on there the other day too. So I do want to expand a little bit more with the different social media platforms, just attaching to my store. But currently, I don't use either of those actively on a regular basis.
I feel like content for this hobby space, whatever you want to call it, really does the best on YouTube. So that's why I chose to go with YouTube. YouTube is a good chunk of work. If you're regularly making videos and you do any editing and things like that, it takes a good amount of effort. I don't really want to duplicate that in a bunch of other places. I don't have a TikTok account. I don't have any of that stuff. So um, I don't know how many card content creators are doing TikTok stuff like regularly. I don't know, maybe that's a thing. Maybe I'm missing out. I don't know. But anyway, to answer your question, I do have an Instagram. It's either PTBENZ or just under my name, Adam Peterson. You can look that up too. I don't even remember what my username is.
Yeah, my
'Cause I
IG
don't
and
really do
Twitter are
anything
just
with
my
it.
name.
Yeah.
I think it might be. I think Twitter might be the real Chaz because it
Okay.
made me laugh all the time when all the verified accounts were like the real so and so.
Yeah.
Like, well, I just want to make sure everybody knows this is
The
really
real
me.
Chaz. I like it. Yeah, honestly, if you really want to follow any content I have to share, I would subscribe to this channel. Ring the bell if you want notifications for videos and stuff. Because if I have anything, real solid to post, I'll post on here. I do post like once in a while. I haven't done one in a little while, but I'll post polls on my YouTube. The other day I'll share some like news and information stuff, like Fanatics announcements, stuff like that. And I generally just do that as posts on YouTube. So I don't know. And Charlie makes a good point. Maybe at some point, if I grow enough, or it seems like other media platforms are a good space for me to be in with what I want to do. That might be something that I add as well. By the way, it's the top of the ninth, buddy.
Yeah, we're just getting warmed up.
Yeah. They maybe should have done that like 2 hours ago. But
I mean, what's the rush? What's the rush?
getting warmed up for the 2024 season. Is that what we're doing?
Moving on.
Go Twins! Off to the trash can bangers in Houston. Yeah, I don't know how Houston is there every year. It's insane. I thought they were terrible this year, yet they're still in the playoffs, huh?
They started off a little rough. Altuve was out with a broken thumb or finger or something for like the first month and a half or so. But they've got quality players at every position. I mean, they're always going to be in the hunt unless their front office completely, turns over because they figured some things out there.
Yeah, apparently. So I hope they don't win anything. I'm not a big fan of cheaters, but I guess that was another team in another time, so got to move on. Charlie, you have to see Return to Oz, the original. It's a good, weird movie. Yeah, dude, these stickers are cool as hell. I was really shocked when I found out.
I'll check it
out. Bruiser Bach was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Then more recently, The Craft and American History X, dark-haired, goth-looking chick. Yeah, she's kind of gothy. I knew that. Trying to think of who she played in. Oh yeah, was it Veruca Salt? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Girl? Yep.
I want it now.
Yeah, that's her. Wasn't she Adam Sandler's girlfriend in Waterboy? I do not know.
No, I don't think that's her.
She was in Water. She was in Waterboy. Tom says she was.
Maybe. The Craft. She was in The Craft too.
The Craft and American X or whatever that is. Somebody mentioned earlier.
Well, if that is her, then I totally know who she is now.
So yeah, you got to watch her as Little Dorothy. You'll enjoy it. Art Green has joined us. Welcome, Art. Who are big soccer stars? I feel like I go through soccer cards at a show and stop once I realize I don't know squat past Messi, Ronaldo, and Mbappe. That's about it for my knowledge. Those are probably the biggest names that I buy regularly. You can throw Holland in there. Those are probably the four big names, other than like Pele and some of those Beckham, those older names. But if you're looking for more of the like fringy stars that people buy, I would say players from Manchester City are a good buy because they're so dominant. They get a lot of media time.
Dominant. Who's your favorite team?
Manchester City.
Oh, okay. So
that's right.
Not that there would be any bias in this opinion.
Well, I just mean they win a lot. They won two cups. They won 2 cups, the Premier League and the Champions League. So I mean,
all right,
and they're in first place right now in Premier League. But anyway, and I'm speaking from sales perspective, not who I like or who I would collect. But Phil Foden does pretty well. Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish. Harry Kane, who now plays for Bayern Munich. Yeah. He's pretty good. Sells well. Believe it or not, a lot of goalies sell well. So in American sports, you don't want any defensive players generally. They're not big sellers. In soccer, that's different, or football. They get a lot of screen time, for what they do. So them and the forwards, the scoring positions, are generally your best buys. So if you don't know what to buy, look at what position does the person play on the card, and maybe that would help you assess whether or not it'd be worth the risk to pick them up. Robert Lewandowski is another good one to buy.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham, we just talked about him. He's hitting his stride right now.
Neymar.
Yep, Neymar. Neymar Jr. is a good one.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah.
Bruyne?
I mentioned it's Bruyne. Yeah, he's Belgian. Belgian?
Ah.
Dutch. Belgian, Dutch. He's one of those two. Probably. I don't know.
It's so weird that just came up because I have a business acquaintance that is from the Netherlands, and we were talking about some stuff today, and I was like, how did stroopwafels all of a sudden become like a go-to for McDonald's in America?
McDonald's has stroopwafels?
Yeah, like every other year they have this international series, and they bring these back all the time.
I did not know that. That will make me go to McDonald's. Okay,
And then I started seeing them in like aisles at the store.
so so first thing I'm going to tell you is we regularly have stroopwafels in my house. That's like a thing. It's always here. Second of all, I played soccer in Europe for a while. I think I told you that, right? You knew that?
Yeah.
And do you know how you properly eat a stroopwafel? What you're supposed to do with it?
How?
So you would take your mug of tea or your mug of coffee, and that's why they're in those round discs, which is basically the shape of the top of a mug, and you put it on top of your mug with your hot beverage.
Okay.
And then it sort of, steams up and loosens up the stroopwafel, so it's more like a waffle off the griddle kind of thing that you eat.
I did not know that. I'm gonna end up trying that someday now.
Buy yourself a good package of stroopwafels. You won't regret it. They're good. They've got that little caramel on the inside. Num num. Tom says Erling Haaland and Jude Bellingham. Exactly. A couple names we had mentioned. That's a good start. I would add Haaland to that list. Yeah. I think Haaland's kind of a no-brainer at this point. Thanks for the couple of additional names to look out for. Tom also mentions Ibrahimovic. That's a guy that I've bought and done really well with. He's like 7'11", and he's got this like super long neck and this strange little mustache thing, and he's a super interesting looking dude. But I sold his stuff. Beckham, I mentioned him. Wayne Rooney, that's a good mention. I actually just picked up a Wayne Rooney Sports Illustrated for Kids card from the early 2000s. I'm excited to list that. Those go for decent money. Baggio, I mean, it's gonna be hard to find Baggio stuff. You're gonna have to go to like Mega Crack stuff, like the European cards from the 80s. The other thing I would strongly suggest is Team USA players who you feel like are going to be on the team when the World Cup comes here, because the next World Cup is in the United States, and the U.S. team is pretty solid. I don't think they're going to win the whole thing, but they should be pretty competitive, especially playing at home. And to add to that, it's bottom of the ninth. To add to that, Christian Pulisic. You want to buy Christian Pulisic stuff. He's the U.S. star player. Generally, U.S. players don't have good careers in European football, like in league play or whatever. And he's been a pretty big star. He won a title with Chelsea. Scores a lot of goals. He'd be a great player to pick up as well. The other big thing is female U.S. soccer players. So anything Mia Hamm, which kind of going back to the old school stuff, Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan stuff does really well. I sold her stuff pretty good. But really, any of the players that are Team USA, there's not a lot of women's soccer cards. Christine Lilly,
Alyssa Thompson.
Yeah. So those would be probably the bigger, like, I'm trying to find fringy type players for you to pick up where you might find them in a quarter box and be able to get. I bought a bunch of Alex Morgan Parkside cards. I think you like the Parkside too, Charlie.
Yeah.
I bought probably about 6 or 8 cards from a dealer out of a quarter box. So I got them less than that, of course, with other stuff. And I was getting $8 to $10 a piece for the Alex Morgan cards. So, yeah, that's probably my big list for. Alex Morgan is a fun one for women's soccer. Here we go. I have a very basic knowledge of soccer football myself, but learning as I go. If I stick with your short list and keep the deals, the
Me
best
too.
way
I
to
learned from Adam on soccer.
Yeah, and the best way to learn on that is to just pick a few things up and see how they go. What'll shock you with soccer is you can sell. There's a lot of commons you can sell because, like I said, they don't make as much product. You'll get a lot of as long as you're offering international sales. I strongly suggest that if you're going to try to sell soccer. But let's say it's a little quiet team in Italy that you know doesn't get any cards made other than one set a year, and you've got a few of the players, you'll probably find a buyer for them, even if they're not big names. So you can if you can get them cheap enough, you can kind of feel out a little bit and take some chances on some stuff and see if you can get some returns on some of those cards. Yeah, Alex Morgan, I have a feeling on women's side. Dennis Rodman's daughter, Trinity Rodman. That's right. I forgot about her. She's new to Team USA. The Team USA women's team did not do well at all in the Women's World Cup, which is a shocker because normally they're in the final. And yeah, so that was unfortunate, but I still think women's soccer is a great buy. Let's see. Card Vibe. Welcome, Card Vibe. He bought 8,000 cards for $80. Would you list the lower end first Bowman papers and Prism base rookies as a lot if you can't sell them for $1.49 for a single? I wouldn't. I don't really sell lots. When I go into buying a deal, I go in that I'm going to be getting a individual card price for those cards. So I don't think I would do that. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. It's probably a really good idea. I just don't do that myself. I would list each one of those rookies at $1.50, and again, you'd be surprised which ones will sell. It's almost kind of the reverse of what you would think. You would go, oh, geez, this is a player I've never heard of. He doesn't really have any cards. Never made it past a practice squad. Sometimes those are the best cards to sell because they just don't have very many. Maybe they were a standout college athlete. Maybe their mom is buying them and collecting. I don't know. But sometimes those are great cards to sell, to list individually and sell. Mia Hamm, I talked about her. Stimpy, you idiot! You spelled it wrong. It's EEEDIOT. Idiot. Gotta be Pinky and the Brain card release or an Animaniacs set. There's a Tiny Toons card set that's pretty sweet that had like some of the Animaniacs characters and stuff in it, but I don't know if there was a specific card set for them. And there was not a Pinky and the Brain card release. So I just kind of look up, don't want to give away all my secrets, but I just kind of look up random things that I want to have inventory of and see if they exist. And then I try to buy lots, especially insert lots. Like, I don't think I would have bought all the Return to Oz cards, but since I could get a complete set of the sticker inserts, that was kind of a no-brainer for me, especially at the price I got them for. I think I paid $7 for them. I don't know. I'd have to look. But they were pretty darn cheap, so it was didn't have to think too hard about that one. Let me see what I paid for those. I gotta look under my screen because my camera is in front of my face. I paid $14.76 for 44 cards. With shipping. That was with shipping. So I paid $7 plus $7 shipping. Oh, and then 76 cents was the tax. So $7 for a 44 card lot, pretty solid. Did ship it in this nice box too, and I love getting these because I sell stuff like this, big lots like this. They're great. I'll be using this, pretty much flipping this box around right away. This is like a $2 value right here. This card box. So a nice piece of shipping supply with that one as well. Let's see. Team USA for women is going to be interesting. There's going to be room for some players to step up next World Cup. That's a very good way to look at it. I agree. I think there's some, I don't want to say aging players because somebody's going to get mad at me for calling calling women on a World Cup team old, but I do kind of believe that they have to sort of rotate some youth in there. The Team USA men's team did that this last World Cup, and they played much better. So it's just kind of a youthful sport. It's so physically demanding, stamina wise and things like that. It's just hard. It's harder to keep up with as you get older. So I think, yeah, putting some new, definitely have some vets on there, have some good captains, some team leaders. You need that core too, but I think some young, up and coming, hungry stars that want a chance to play for Team USA, I think that would be a really smart move. I've been cherry picking the $1.50 and up to list and almost have my money back already. Yeah, $80 for 8,000 cards. It shouldn't be too hard for you to get your money out of that. Yeah, I mean, you can do lots if it's not stuff you want to sit on. See, I have so much room in my listings. If I feel like I can get something for it, I'm going to list it. If I don't feel like I can get anything for it, it goes in my quarter box and I move on. You only paid 8,000 cards for $80. You paid a penny a card. So if you put it in your quarter box and sell it for a quarter, you're still up 24 cents on that card. I would rather do that than try to make lots, and then I don't like shipping lots because now I have multiple cards and I got to put them in these things so that I can still ship it in an envelope. What if they buy 2 lots? Now it's too much. Now I got to pay the $4 package shipping, and I don't charge shipping. So now, it's costing me more to send it out, and I just don't want to. I do that with non-sports because I kind of don't have a choice. There's lots of times where I can't buy just the sticker cards, and I'll buy lots of the base cards that come with the sticker cards, and then I just lot off the base cards to get them moving because it's so hard to sell an individual 1990 Topps Simpsons random card. This week I just sold 3 lots of Jurassic Park cards. And I bought them because I wanted the stickers and I wanted the character cards. So like Dr. Malcolm and the 2 archaeologists, can't think of his name. Dr. Whatever. The old guy who set up the park, all that. Those character cards do really well. So yeah. So if you literally bought this lot because there's some juicy stuff in there that you wanted to make your money on, you just want to dump the rest of it, lots is definitely a good way to go. What do you think, Chuck? Chaz, are you still here? I think he froze up. He got zapped. We'll have to wait till he comes back in. But yeah, I think an 8,000 card lot for $80 is fun. Hopefully you find a couple of bangers in there. How about a 1,200 card collection a couple weeks ago for $80, and I mean jersey cards, signatures. I sold 1 card for $85. I got all my money back selling 1 card. So those are fun for me because especially if you can sell that 1 card right away and get your money back. Every other card can just sit in my store. I don't care if it takes a while to sell it because I have no capital into it. And so kind of nice. It's a good way to get a chunk of inventory that you can list. Ultimately, don't miss a day listing though. Don't paralyze yourself with what to list too much. 1,000%. Yeah, I list every free moment that I have. I get listing is very mundane and it gets boring. So like I probably have a lot here of like over 1,500 or so Ren and Stimpy cards, which are awesome, and I sell a lot of them. But I was listing, I listed a couple hundred of them, and I'm like, I'm just tired of listing Ren and Stimpy cards. And so then I would have to go back and, okay, now I'm going to grab a stack of Sports Illustrated for kids. Well, I have this whole box is Sports Illustrated for kids. I can't list those all day long. It's too mundane. I have to change it up a little bit. The music cards, I generally buy these by the box. They're actually cheaper to buy sealed wax and rip than it is to buy in lots, especially if you want like some of the more rare rookies, Beastie Boys, stuff like that. And, so I'll list a couple hundred of these, and then I don't want to list any more wrap cards. So I tend to go in like chunks of what bores me. And then certain things just come up as a priority. Like, oh, I got a Jordan lot in the mail today. I don't let Jordan cards sit around. I list those right away because those are such quick turn. And they're a little bit bigger investment. I generally have to pay $1 a card to get those. So I want those sold and I want my money out of that. I rip a box, a brand new product, box of wild card. I list all those cards right away. Anything that's new, I list. I bought a little Zenith Mega Box and one of those Prism Optic tins, Joe Burrow tin. Ripped those, listed them right away. Anything that's got newer products in it, I'm gonna put up there. So actually, come to think of it, I think there's a card. Yeah, there's a. You guys like Sauce Gardner? You know who Sauce is?
Yeah.
I got a. Yeah, Ahmad. I pulled a. If I can find it here. I pulled a reverse negative silver prism rookie of him. Aren't those cool?
Yeah.
Love those cards. And if you read on the back, it says variations up there. I don't know if you can read that, but
yeah, it's really fuzzy.
Pretty cool. So, yeah, I like I do stuff like that. If I have stuff that I just ripped, I generally will list that right away. It's fun. It's fresh stuff. Those are good things to list, but I don't know. I mean, I have enough to list, but I like to shift around so much. I don't feel like, well, geez, I haven't listed any basketball in 3 weeks. That would never be the case. I would have some basketball that I put up every couple days. I would have some football, some soccer, some as long as I have some to list. Some non-sport, some promo cards, some I switch it up enough that there's always things getting listed.
But in fairness, you're doing it full time versus someone like me that gets maybe an hour a day that I can dive into it during the week. So that's where I end up switching it up a little bit more, and because I noticed there's a gap where I spent those last hour a day for 3-4 days doing the same thing. I've got buyers out there that haven't seen anything new in this sales channel for almost a week now,
Yeah, for sure. I think the consensus is list.
Yeah, that's what really matters.
List stuff. You got if I have a card that's sitting here, this is my to be listed pile. I'm gonna make a inventory video tomorrow about kind of my flow on that. But if I have this card sitting over there and I don't list it, I can't sell it. I mean, that's the very basics of it. So get stuff on. Don't have a death pile that sits there forever. Try to get stuff on and moving. Even if you don't think it's, well, that stuff isn't as good as this stuff. I want to list this stuff. Great. Make it a priority one day to, once you get your best stuff listed, you take a small stack of your might sit there for a while stuff and get a few of those listed. Just so that you don't keep that pile growing. Or get rid of them. Sell them in lots. Put them in quarter boxes and do a show. There's other ways to do that. MD says I almost prioritize what gets me my money back fastest, i.e. most expensive cards. Velocity is built in because you're buying what sells. That's basically what I was trying to say, only you're better at words. I don't know. I'm more like Stuart. I'm not so good with the words.
Yeah, but you know what he's good at?
Goat life.
Yeah.
Goat life forever. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I do, actually. I like the Jordan cards. I list those because they're quick sellers and I get decent money for them, and I had to spend a little bit more because they were Jordan cards. So yeah, I listed that, became a priority today. Now it was a lot of like 18 cards. It took me like 10 minutes to list them. So I just listed them. They're nice. They're all one player, so they just go right in the Jordan slot in the drawer. Easy to sort. Have plenty of space in that drawer. So just a quick, hey, take 10 minutes of my day, get these done, and I'll move back to the other stuff that I've got sitting around. So listing, keep listing. It's a lot easier than you think, so don't paralyze yourself in anxiety of doing it wrong because you won't realize how easy it is until you do it. Yeah, and what's the worst that could happen? So you list that card and it doesn't sell for 3 months. Okay, that's about the worst case scenario. But let's say you try that and it doesn't sell in 3 months, and you're like, that's it. I've had it with this card. I want it gone. Take the listing down and then sell it in a lot or put it in a quarter box. Whatever you need to do. And the more you do it, and the longer you do this, the better you'll get at. Oh, I shouldn't buy that. It's not a quick resell, or okay, I tried this card. It didn't sell. I'll throw this in my box. You'll start doing shows. You'll buy at more shows. The beauty of buying at card shows is you can cherry pick. If you're buying lots on eBay or like earlier the collection, the 8,000 card collection for $80, well, that seems like a really good deal. My guess is there's lots of stuff in there that's going to be really hard to get a resale out of that's worth it on eBay anyway. So yeah, you'll start to get good at it. You'll start to know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to pay for things. You can go to card shows and you cherry pick a couple hundred cards on a Saturday, on whenever you've got time, Sunday, whatever, to list. Those are probably going to be all the cards you list first because you cherry pick those to get them listed. And your cherry pick at a show is going to change, from time to time too. I was buying a lot of Dion at this last show. I bought a bunch of Christian McCaffrey. He's big again. I bought a bunch of Kelsey because he's dating some singer chick or something. So you have to kind of, it allows you to sort of play with what's going on at the current time too. Card Vibe says you have to list every day, or it seems the algorithm isn't good for you. Yes, you have to list every day. Now, I have a solution for that, though, if you haven't seen my videos in the past or joined us on this live, but there is an easy way to get a couple hundred listings on without really having to do anything. Just work with your current listings. So you want to take your oldest listings, you want to end them. So delete, I don't want to say delete because that's the wrong term. Right. You want to end them. So take them out of your store inventory. Then you want to go back in and sell similar. So grab all those listings, sell similar. So copies those listings that you had and post them. Those will go in as new listings because they're sell similar, not relist, new listings. And that'll get you some new listings for the day. So it gets your old inventory to be new again, some new eyes on it. It gets some listings done for you. And I do 200 of those in the morning right after I send all my invoices. That's what I do next. And takes 5 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. Super quick. I get 200 brand new listings on there in the day before I do anything else. Didn't have to take photos, didn't have to write descriptions, nothing. It's all there. You just relist. No, I shouldn't say relist. You just sell similar those ended listings.
Yeah. Now the one thing I would say about that, and I do the same thing now, and it does make a difference, but you really need to have a subscription so you have enough listings available every month if you're going to take that tactic.
Should you get a store, Charlie?
Yes.
Yeah, and you thought my end sell similar thing was crazy at first, didn't you?
No, like, I don't think it did. No.
No? Oh, I thought you thought I was.
It took me a while to wrap my head around it. Like, what are you doing?
I'm just making old listings new.
Yeah.
And that's what eBay likes. That's what New Eyes like. Yeah. And there's a lot. I try to do things as for the buyer as the way I would do them. And most of the time when I'm shopping for cards, I want to see the new listings first because I want first crack at stuff. So if I'm searching that way, I'm sure there's other people searching that way. So that's why I like to end them, sell similar so that those are now new listings for those sets of eyeballs that come in. Personally, I avoided listing and selling for over 2 years after saying I would start because worrying too much about how I'd print shipping labels and found out USPS does it for you if need be. Shake my head. Yeah, or a small thermal printer is $50 if it's a data connect or a cable connected one. It's like 75 or $80 if you want a Bluetooth one. And the labels are super cheap. I told you, Charlie, I got another good deal on labels
Yeah.
this week. I paid $51 for 4,000 labels. So I paid 1.2 cents per label. It's a heck of a deal. So for a penny, I get a sticker that thermal prints, so no ink, you don't have to pay for ink, that I can stick onto my package. That's my only cost for shipping materials. Well, and the envelope, which is another 2 cents or whatever. So yeah, there's super quick, easy. That should not be your holdup. Did you ever get yours working?
Negative.
Yeah, you need to ask for one for Christmas or something then, dude.
I know, right?
Yeah, maybe that'll be my Christmas present to you. I'll get you a good one and show you how to hook it up, because you got to have that. Red Light 34 has joined us. Welcome. Hello all. Tom agrees with Card Vibe. The more consistent and more often you list, the more eBay seems to reward you with eyes and sales. That's correct. List. 34 best jersey number, Thurman Thomas and Charles Barkley. Okay. I'm not sure where the 34 has come up from, but
Red Light 34.
Red Light 34. Okay, got it now. Gosh, thankfully you're here, Charlie, because I'm totally lost in this thing. Oh, I think your game is done.
Yeah.
Yep, they lost 5-2.
Yep, the baseball season's over for me.
Baseball season is over. That's okay. Now you can move on to football and cards and all those fun things. So,
yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, not get excited for spring training next year. All right, that's honestly why I think it was legitimately a mistake. If they wanted to do it on purpose, I feel like Ruben is a little more creative on marketing than that. He's referring to my comment earlier about the conspiracy theory about
the 2 1-1s.
Yeah, purposely making 2 1-1s. They've had many dupes of super refractors. That's true. This has happened before. Hard to have confidence Fanatics is going to do right by the hobby with how they are starting things off. Honestly, you know what's funny when I hear about stories like this and other content creators that I watch and stuff, you know, this is the juicy stuff they like to cover right away. And I go, I don't really care. I don't buy or sell superfractors, so why do I care? Yeah. And if I pulled one, I'd be like, okay, I paid $10 for this pack and I got a superfractor out of it. I don't care if there's a second one. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I guess if you're buying into, you know, $10,000 worth of breaks and then you hit that card and somebody else also hits one, I'd be like, you kind of screwed me. I was buying under false pretenses that this was a 101, but I don't know. And there's so many of those players where that superfractor isn't going to matter in the long run anyway.
Sure.
You know, yeah, I guess you hit the superfractor of Ohtani and somebody else pulls one, I'd be like, oh, that sucks, you know? I don't know. Are we that far behind in the chat? Holy crap.
We're pretty backed up in the chat, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to jump in here. Oh, there's Peter. It was Peter earlier who told me he'd be late. Welcome, Peter. I'm glad you made it. Sorry, everybody. We're gonna have to jump ahead in some chat here. We got a little behind. We haven't even covered any topics yet. We're an hour and a half in. Adam asked you earlier this week about the bottom of selling cards. If it's not 2 1/4, it goes in a 50-cent box. Doing the math just doesn't make sense to list and ship cards any less than 2 1/4. I disagree. I mean, it depends on what you need to get out of the card. There are times where, I only make 25 cents or 30 cents on that card after expenses. I'm okay with that. And like I said to you earlier, if you sell more than one card, that second card is basically pure profit.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of look at it as it's definitely a volume game. If you're going to sell 6 cards in the month, no, I don't know how much time you'd really want to put into, selling a card for less than $3 or whatever it is. But that's also not the vast majority of the cards. So like if I go buy a card out of a dollar box, there's lots of them where I sell them for $7 or $10. Um, so it's not like every card only sells for $1.50. Those would be ones where you'd have like a bulk of base cards or something like that. And a lot of times those cards are awesome because, let's say, like for example, a Patrick Mahomes card, I sold 3 copies of one card today. Now, Mahomes is probably a bad example because those are never going to sell for $1. They'll always be more than that. I'm trying to think of what card it is. I think it's an elite base card that I sold for $4 a piece. So I get $12 for those 3 cards that I got out of a less than $1 box. That's pretty good money. So yeah, if you're looking at it card by card, your lowest priced card, yeah, there's not much. And I agreed with you. There's not much profit margin in that at all. It has to be a volume game. The way I look at it is I sell a bunch of $7 cards, and that gets me, $150 for the day. And then I sell a bunch of cards where I get 30 to 50 cents out of them, and that gets me 50 to $60 out of the day. It's just it just kind of rounds it out, right? Not everybody's buying a $7 card. Some people are buying a $1.50 card. And you don't know what card somebody's going to buy, or what they're going to buy in combination with something else. I sold a WWE card, can't remember who it was, a Ken Griffey Jr. card, and a Ronald Acuna card, 3-card order to somebody. That's like super random, It was just a $12, $13 order, and I'm sure I didn't pay more than 75 cents to $1.50 for those cards.
Yeah.
So then there's good profit in that order. So there are times when I sell a card and I break even on it. Oh well, that's life. Ask anyone who owns a retail business if they ever lost money on a product. If they ever didn't make a profit. Every single one of them is going to tell you yes. Sometimes you just have to sell out of something and move on.
Yeah.
Get your capital back and try to sell the next card for a profit. So
I've set my floor at $1.50 now before I don't even know if floor is the right word, right? Because when I'm buying product, I'm buying curated product that I know is or I feel fairly confident is going to turn a profit. Where I get into this discussion is if I happen to buy a blaster for fun, or I have old inventory when I was collecting. As I'm going through that, I do use that $1.50 point to say, for the time I'm going to put into this, will I at least get $1.50? And if I feel like it's not real likely I'm going to get a buyer for $1.50 on this or more, then I go right to the value boxes.
You got it. That's exactly how I play the game. So I have 15 to 20,000, quarter boxes. I'll try to sell them for a quarter for a few shows. If they don't sell, then I drop them to a dime, and I'll do that for a couple shows. Start a new quarter box. So yeah, there's lots of those that you can move on to, especially if you do something like the viewer earlier who said he bought 8,000 cards for $80. Well, he paid a penny a card. If he puts those in a dime box, he still made profit on that card.
Yeah.
And you sell a couple hundred of those at a show, you're doing okay. Now, the other thing is, and Peter makes mention here of selling them at a quarter box, 50-cent box, dollar box at a show, once a quarter, 2 times a year, get rid of some duds, Facebook Marketplace. That's a good point. But you know what you didn't mention about doing a card show is you have expenses to a card show too. It's going to cost you $50 to set up a table. You know how many quarter cards you got to sell to hit that $50 just to break even there. So the eBay fee doesn't seem so bad because you only pay the eBay fee if the card sells. You have no risk in listing that card if you have a store and you have free listings. So I would argue that isn't like a better solution necessarily either. and you don't know what kind of volume you're going to sell. If it's a bunch of cards that aren't going to sell for anything on eBay, what makes you think you're going to sell them all at in a 50-cent box, right? No guarantee of that either. Also, the other thing to consider with a card show is it's a lot of your time and your effort. You got to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. You got to get all the boxes loaded into your car. You got to stop and get your coffee. You got to get everything out on your table, talk to people all day long, get everything sorted, pack up what you didn't sell, bring it all back home, put it all away. How much effort are you going to put in versus, I can just list this for $1.50 and see if I get 30 cents out of it, throw it in my drawer. Took me 45 seconds to list it, right? So there's other things to consider in there. And I'm not arguing with you by any measure. Like if you feel like, oh, I'm not going to do anything under 2 1/4, I think I'll do better throwing it in a show box, then do that. That's fine. I'm just willing to take the 30 to 50 cent, after expenses money and do them online. If I can sell 20 of those a day, that's 6 to 10, 10 to $10, whatever it is. Per day, selling a few of those cards that I really didn't have any money into anyway, I'll take that. And Charlie's right. I don't generally get them when I'm cherry picking. When I'm buying at a show, I'm not going to buy cards that sell for $1.50 at a show unless I'm getting them for 2 cents, a nickel, whatever.
Right.
I'm buying stuff that I can sell for $3 to $5 or whatever. And he's right. The stuff that I get for 10 cents that I have, 10 cents a quarter or whatever that I want to sell that way is stuff where I bought a big collection for cheap or a big lot for cheap. And it's just the stuff that, are common cards, whatever. Or I bought a blaster and it's the cards, that no-name players, base cards, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, those are generally the cards that I take too, and I throw in a dime or quarter box. I guess the cherry on top of setting up at a show, getting first crack at other dealer boxes. Oh, you know that trick. That's one of the main reasons I like to do the Green Bay show. I always get really good buys at that show, and I like the first look. Also making connections on dealers wanting to ditch low-end cards to sell. Exactly. So you don't have to set up at a show to get to know dealers and buy out dealer boxes and stuff like that. But I like it for Charlie and I do a quarterly show in Green Bay. That's the only one we set up at. I like doing the show because yes, I can get my quarter and dime boxes out there because I can't make money on those cards on eBay, and it gives me a chance to move them. And I do make money at all the shows. At every show I've set up at, I've made money. And it just loosens up those boxes so that I've got space to put more cards in too. But yes, I like to make those connections. I have a YouTube channel. People come up to me and say, "Hey, I see your videos. Cool." I have a couple of my PC is Favre. A couple of Favre guys who know that at the show I'll have some special Favre stuff for them to thumb through that I can sell and avoid some fees. Bigger cards, make some money and avoid some fees and get them handed off in person to someone for cash. So yeah, definitely setting up at shows is great. Just because you can't sell the card for $1.50 on eBay for a profit doesn't mean you can sell for 50 cents at a local show. You have a lot less market there. You still have to get somebody to go through the box to even see that card. Yeah, it's not quite that simple. I have 66,000 listings I can put on eBay for free. I'll take 1,000 of those listings and put $1.50 cards on there on those. That's fine. Or lot them. That's another option too. Well, I don't want to sell a card for under 2 1/4. Well, great. Then take 5 cards and list them for $5. Then you're selling them $1 a card. And you're doing it online and you're still making profit because you're selling all 5 at one time for one postage stamp. So you can do that too. If I put them in a 25-cent, 50-cent, $1 box and do a show once a quarter or 2 times a year, then you should get rid of some duds. Yes, I agree. You would get some duds, as you call them. I don't think because a card, I don't feel like just because a card sells for a lower amount necessarily means it's a dud. It's just kind of, I don't know. All right, so Card Vibe says, that's how I got the 8K cards, was through developing a friendship with a dealer from going to shows every weekend. Relationships are big on getting deals. Yeah, I agree. I have some dealers who will snag me at a show and they'll say, hey, I put a box of Favs together for you. Are you interested? And I get first crack at that. And I look through it, and usually they'll accept a pretty good offer. They collated it just for me to potentially be their buyer. And so that's awesome. I love shows like that. So, did you freeze up on us, Charlie?
No, I'm here. All good.
Okay, cool. All right. So now that we're kind of caught up on the chat, maybe we'll do a little bit of our topics. We talked about listing. I don't want to do that anymore. Playoff push. Do we believe like the baseball playoff push is impacting card sales? I'll tell you, for me, no, because I don't do baseball prospecting for the most part. I'll buy a big box of prospects at the beginning of the year as cheap as I can get it with some color or refractors or whatever. I list them all, and then if stuff sells, great. I don't even know who these players' names are for the most part. And that's kind of what I go with. So yeah, I suppose if there's some playoff call-ups or something, I would think that. I know Corbin Carroll, I think is his name. He had 2 home runs yesterday, so that was kind of a thing. And then Royce Lewis hit a home run or had a good game or something like that. I have a couple of Royce Lewis. I think they're paper cards, but that, to me, that's the only thing that it would have a real impact on, is not really the vets, but the prospects who would be making some kind of impact in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Do you agree?
I don't think it's a huge bump. I think there may be a little bit. So what's smaller than a bump? I was trying to think of a good phrase for it. Because I think a bump is probably
The market?
A what?
An active market creates an active market.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you're not going to go from, selling 2 Acuna cards a day to 20 because the playoffs started. I don't think there's a push like that. The other day I mentioned I grabbed some baseball to list because I hadn't listed baseball in a while. The cards I grabbed were for the playoff teams, to get some new stuff out there for the playoff teams. And so I think, give it a couple weeks, I might have a better impression of what the impact of the playoffs are. But yeah, I think I'm expecting that I may sell a couple of cards because of that, but it's not like things are going to be gangbusters for it.
Yeah, I would think that your sales are probably going to come before the playoffs for that, right? So like, that actually happened to me. So Gunnar Henderson is, I assume?
Yeah.
So I had some Gunnar Henderson rookies. One, I pulled a really nice parallel out of one of those like kid boxes where you get the pin and all that stuff in it. The giant card and that.
Yeah.
I pulled one of the box exclusive Gunnar Henderson parallels, and I sold it right before the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Because now all these people are like, oh, Baltimore's dominating. They could win this thing. I'm going to buy up these Gunnar Henderson cards. So I feel like before the playoffs would be a better time, you'd have more success getting those sales, except for when it's an individual performance. Corbin Carroll hits 2 home runs, you might sell a couple cards. Royce Lewis has a good game. He's a young prospect. Brett Beatty, I think, is another one where I've gotten some sales of him recently because of something he's done. So I think it just really comes down to young player activity in the playoffs is about the only thing that would create a more active market. I agree. I think Acuna is there, and Acuna is Acuna, and you don't get a bump just because he's in the playoffs. So, unless he has some sort of random dominant performance we weren't expecting, that
Yeah,
would be
like a
really
record-breaking performance in a game or something.
Yeah, exactly. Now, here's a good example of how listing card, and I'm going. I was just looking at some of my eBay stuff. I had a bunch of notifications come in, and I just wanted to look at it real quick. Here's an example of where listing a card doesn't necessarily sell you that card, but helps you sell another card. So I told you I listed a small handful of Jordan cards a few hours ago, right? That I just got in the mail.
Yeah.
Well, I just sold a Jordan card. It's not one of the ones I just listed, but it's a Jordan
Okay.
card that I've had. So sometimes listing certain things, even though maybe those aren't the thing that are going to sell right now, it might spark interest in other listings that you have. Right? So it's kind of like
Yeah.
a cross sale approach almost. And that's a Jordan card I've had sitting in there for a few months, I'm sure. Got full price for it. Great. I didn't sell one of the 18 Jordans I just bought, but I sold one that I had in my drawer. So I'll take it, right? Peter says he's been communicating with buyers about a popular player like Acuna, Trout. I messaged the buyer that I have over 3,000 listings on eBay store. Shop around and I can further discount. Yeah, that's great. Creating relationships, finding buyers for that stuff. I don't think you're going to have a lot of trouble selling Acuna or Trout stuff to anybody. But if you have a quick source where you can just bring stuff to, that's exactly what you want to do. And that's kind of been when I started my store. That's kind of my bread and butter is the Favre stuff because I PC it and I just had all these Favre cards. That's why I started selling, and I sell way more Favre than anything else, even though he's not currently playing. He's not, the GOAT, none of that type of stuff. But my buyers know that they can come to me, and I have a very extensive catalog of Favre cards at good prices, and they can pick up the stuff that they need for their PC. Because generally, our customers are going to be end users. They're going to be people that are buying it for their collection. So, no, some random Prism base football player rookie that you don't know the name of would not be a good card to buy and flip if you're doing high-end stuff. Then you want to stick to the certain names and the brands and the, serial numbered cards and that kind of thing. When you're doing low-end, it's fine. You can do that. Try the upsell to multi-card buys. Yeah, that's exactly what I was telling you earlier. You want to try to get those multiple card sales. You make pretty good profit on $1.50 cards if you can sell 10 of them at a time or something like that. So
yeah,
talk to customers and one of the things that I love is accepting offers, and I'll tell you why. Because let's say I have a card priced at $2.99, right? Because I want to get something out of it on a single card sale. And someone will offer me $2 for that card. I'd probably turn it down. But let's say there's 5 $2.99 cards that they offer me $2 a piece on.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to take it, right? Because I just made pure profit on all those other cards. And I can ship them all in one envelope for 63 cents.
Absolutely.
So you can actually decrease the amount you sell the card for and make more profit to give your customer a better price. You sell more cards at once, less shipping and materials, less cost, and you get more profit all at one time. So I think having the $1.50 cards in there, quality cards, not a base 1991 Fleer, because we all know 1991 Fleer is the greatest set ever made. A base 1991 Fleer Rob Deere, I wouldn't list that for $1.50. You're not going to get $1.50 for that. So it still has to be a card you can sell. Key bump. I don't know what that means. Ask Santiago Sports Cards. They know. Ha ha ha. I think he's referring to the Superfractor thing. Sold out gunner myself. Wish I would have had more. Yeah, I think I have one or two, but they're very basic. I think I have a couple tops rookies or something like that left. But he was a hot prospect at the very beginning of the year.
Season, yeah.
So I had my stuff priced higher as it was. It really doesn't matter what he's doing now. So, kind of the exception is that parallel I got out of that box that, I was asking a lot more for that and it did sell. So let's see, Acuna should sell pretty regularly due to 70-40 season. And if new release tops the MVP program specs. Yeah, the Acuna stuff will sell well. He's probably like the face of Major League Baseball right now, especially with Ohtani being down. Charlie dibs on Dalton Kincaid and DeMar Hamlin.
I think he's talking about some recent listings on my store. It's a nice DeMar Hamlin parallel I just recently listed.
Should sell fast. He's got a following. Did you get a lot of offers on $1.50 cards? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Like I said, I won't take less than $1.50. I'm with Charlie. That's my bottom line price right now. Still have a few listings at $1.29 that I have to update, but as I'm updating any of that, it is $1.50 is my new minimum. But like I said, if somebody wants 5 cards and they come through and offer me $1 on each on a $1.50 card, yes, I will take $1. You do not want to turn down a sale like that where you're going to get that multiple card sale and every one of those $1 cards is pure profit after the first one. Do you agree, Charlie?
Yeah, the volume and the combined shipping makes a big difference.
It makes all the difference on a card that price that low. Yeah. So now to clarify this question a bit more, you said, do you get offers on a $1.50 card? Let's say I turn it down and they buy the one card at $1.50. I'm only getting like 20 to 30 cents out of that card. Yeah. You have to be okay with that. But the opportunity to be able to sell multiple cards at the $1.50 price, and generally if it's a card at $1.50, I probably have like 10 quantity of it anyway. So they might even say, okay, well, you want $1.50 a card? I'll buy 3 of them at $1 a piece. Great, I'll take $3 for 3 of them. So being able to have quantity is a huge advantage as well. Tom's putting dibs on your auto rip.
Oh, the wild card rip.
Speaking of that, let's do that. We're caught up on the chat. We've got an extra camera here so we can see our rip.
This is how hot off the presses it is. I haven't even taken it out of the FedEx box yet.
Your second camera's down here, buddy.
Is it really? Oh, How did that happen?
I don't know.
I blame the technical operator.
Well, you left the video for a while.
That's
you got
true.
booted.
Yeah,
so
but
I think I killed your camera, your second camera.
That shouldn't have affected the phone at all, right?
I don't know.
All right, let's see if I can get back in there quick for you. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, I'll answer the question while you're working on that.
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of 99-cent offers on $1.50 cards. It was annoying. Yes, $1 offers are annoying if it's for a single card. 1000% agree. You just have to get over that. If you want to be a low-end card seller, and I think accepting offers is crucial. So I would not turn that off just for the few annoying 99-cent offers. Now, on any of those offers, did you get 99-cent offers from a buyer for more than one card? Because if you did, then you probably want to take those 99-cent offers, and you can turn something annoying into a sale with some profit. So that'd be my tip on that one. Okay, so we've got Charlie's camera down there. I'm going to turn off the messenger here so we can see this better.
All right.
You can all see that, eh?
So
What are we ripping here, buddy?
So this package came from our good friend Daniel Atkins. Is that the CEO of Wildcard or something?
It is, yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? He's such a cool dude.
I can't. I was kind of surprised to see an individual's name on there when I got the package. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is a little interesting. I'm not sure why either. If it's just ships from his home address or what, or I'm sure that's just how they had the label set up. So
Yeah. Well, I think Wildcard still operates as kind of a small business, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
yep, they have their own printer, and I believe it's like right in town where the company is. So he probably goes over to the printer and have the connection with them, and yeah, it's interesting.
So
Oh,
what
speaking of the devil, I just got a sale on a Royce Lewis card.
Nice. I have a bunch of those listed too.
Yeah. But see, I listed all those at the beginning of the season. To me, the playoff part is irrelevant. I buy my big box of prospects at the beginning of the year for $20, $30, whatever. Get some color, whatever. List them all, and if they do anything in the year, great. I'll get a sale, and then that way I don't really have to follow it or try to buy and sell.
Right. So Adam, you really kind of sold me on the wild cards. This is the first purchase of wild card product that I've ever done. And Adam brags them up all the time. So I signed up for their insiders and got the message that they had a new promotion going on. So I was like, all right, I got to give them a try, see what all the fuss is about. So this is their 5 card.
Are you gonna blame me if you don't get anything good in your rip?
Absolutely.
So
This is
5 card draw is one of their best products in the year, just so you know.
Okay.
So you chose wisely.
Yeah, 5 card draw, stack them up bundle is what I ended up purchasing. So you've got the nice fancy box of the 5 card draw, and then this comes with it also.
Yep, okay. You get the bonus pack that is for the insider members only.
Is it? Okay.
It's an additional auto, and I think it's numbered to 15, I believe.
Okay.
So all their stuff is low serial number. So you're going to get a card out of 5, a card out of 4, a card out of 3, a card out of 2, and a 1 of 1.
That's the stacking, right?
Yep.
Okay. So where should we start, with the box or the pack?
It's up to you. I say start with the bonus pack and then go 5 down to 1.
All right.
That's what I would do.
Let's do it. So the bonus pack is an auto card. It's kind of, let's see if I can.
Yeah, it should be all autoed.
Yep. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. A Will McDonald defensive end auto.
Nice. What's it numbered out of? I like the purple pink.
It is a purple pink. It is numbered. Well, where is the number? I don't see a number on there, Adam.
It's got to be numbered.
You would think. So let's look at the back here together. Let's see, this way. I don't see anything on the back.
It might be numbered. It's probably numbered on the front. They usually number their stuff on the front.
Okay. So let's flip it back over and take a closer look. 5 card draw. 4 of 4. There it is. Top
4 of 4. Out of 4.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
So bookend out of 4.
Nice.
But a defensive player, so the market's going to be limited on that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very nice. It is a sharp-looking card, though. Let's give it a try with the box. See if I can get this open. They do some heavy packaging on these, actually. There's like pretty thick cellophane on it. I don't think you have to worry about any kind of damage in transit or anything.
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
right.
good.
So the 5-card draw. What we got here? That is a sweet box. I like that. So there are
Yeah, their stuff is really high quality. You'll notice that real quick.
there are the 5 packs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Let's start with the first one.
Now, what did you pay for this offer?
This was with shipping. It was $160. Okay.
For 6 autos.
Yep. So this one is a 3 of 5 wide receiver, Josh Downs.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Cool looking card.
Yep. It's got the cards in the background and the clubs. Let's look at the other side. Josh Downs. Okay. They don't really talk much about the player, though, do they?
No, never.
Like, there's no
Very-
kind of
very
bio or
simple.
anything.
Nope. Very, very simple.
Look at that. All right. So there's the first one. It's 3 of 5. I'll leave that out there while I open up the next one. This is the 4. The 4. So
Nice.
This one's out of 4. I see Tom Bullard's giving us the play-by-play like it's draft night.
Right on.
All right.
That's 15th overall first round pick. That's solid.
Yeah.
Josh Downs is the Colts 79th overall third round pick. I believe he's doing pretty well. I think Anthony Richardson likes him. So when you're a wide receiver, it matters if the quarterback likes you. So.
It does. It definitely does. All right. Out of 4, we have a 2 out of 4. And we have let's see, Deshaun or Dewan? I think it's Deshaun.
Yeah. I actually have a card of him. Desjuan Johnson.
Yeah.
Ah,
Same guy.
I pulled one in my one of my wild card boxes too.
Looks like a nice purple finish again. Got the playing cards in the background. Super sharp. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Again, not a whole lot on the back, if I can get that centered there. Just kind of your basic back. All their money's in the front, looks like.
Yeah. It is.
So, all right. Then we got the 3s. All right. So coming up next here, this one's kind of tough to see because of the dark print on it, but I believe that's a 3 of 3. And that is Keon White, defensive line.
I do not know who that is.
Yeah. Another defensive player. I'm not familiar with that name either. Yeah, it's really hard to see that 3 of 3 because of the dark blue stamp on there. Decent auto. I'm not sure why it's so off center with the autos though. What's up with that?
It's where he signed it on the sticker, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. None of mine are like that. So, like, here's my Richardson. It's pretty centered.
Yeah, and the other ones were.
Here's my Desjuan. My Desjuan is pretty centered. Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
I didn't run into that.
I mean, that's pretty
Somebody
well
doesn't know how to sign a sticker, I guess.
So Keon White, New England Patriots, 46th overall, second round. Thank you, Tom. There we go. Card hobbyist. Good call. technical advisory team there.
Sure.
All right, let's move on to the number twos. The number twos. The number 2 is a running back. He's a 2 of 2, Chris Rodriguez.
Ooh, that's a cool looking card.
Yeah.
I don't know who Chris Rodriguez is though.
I like the signature too, C-Rod.
C-Rod, nice. Makes sense, I guess.
Little different design on that one, right?
Yeah.
Were the playing cards in the background. Well, the 404 was a little different design as well.
They make nice cards, don't they?
They do. They do pop really nicely. So C-Rod, and that brings us to the 1 of 1. What could we have for the 1 of 1?
Hopefully it's a big one.
What's that?
I said hopefully it's a big one.
Well, I will tell you that is a position near and dear to my heart as a former player and a coach, which probably gives you a clue that
defensive?
No. It is an offensive lineman.
Ooh, even better. He played at The Ohio State, right?
I believe so.
So that you have a whole extra market there then.
I think that's offensive line. Yeah, that's offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, look at that boy. There's no way he eats a lot of hamburgers. There's no way he's anything but offensive line.
Right. Our focus is not great there. I'm not sure why, but if I can adjust that a little bit. Again, nice looking card. You can't complain about a 1 of 1, right? It's still a 1 of 1. But yeah, offensive lineman, not a quarterback. We always want the quarterback in football, right?
Of course.
Yep. DeJuan Jones. Looks like Tom doesn't have a scouting report for us on him yet.
Oh, that's DeJuan Jones. Mine is Desjuan. Oh, here, I got to put the cameras back up. Wait, I got to get out of solo layout. How do I do this? Exit solo layout. Hey, look at that. I did it. Mine is Desjuan Johnson. So mine's different than yours.
Yeah, that's a card we had earlier. I think that was.
Oh, you got him and a Jones guy with a similar name. Crazy.
DeJuan was a 2 of 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't do quite as well as I do on my rips with wild card. I got that 101 Hendon Hooker, Dynamite one, the dinosaur one, and then I got the Anthony Richardson numbered out of 9.
Yeah, I like that Dynamite one. That's my favorite that you got.
Yeah, me too. I also got another quarterback auto out of mine too, Jaron Hall. And then I had I got a couple other ones here, but I had 2 linemen and I sold both of them already. Sold one for 15 and the other one for 10, I think. So
okay.
Kind of what I do with those is that's my one time a year where I buy a product where I'm looking for a big hit, right?
Yeah.
So if I get the big hit in the box, like I got the Kenny Pickett out of the one at the National and stuff. But when I pull the Anthony Richardson, that's good enough for me out of a $150 box, plus the Hendon Hooker 101. I'm willing to sell the other cards cheaper. It gets me most of my box money back. These are all individually encased, which is annoying as crap when you're trying to store them. So I'd rather just. Oh, by the way, I charged shipping for those too. So I got 15 plus shipping and 10 plus shipping.
Okay.
Since they had to go in a package, but yeah. So I'm. That's kind of what I do with those. Is I sell the lower end stuff pretty cheap to get them moved and keep the bigger names.
So I think this will be a challenge to get my money back on this one, but that's the gamble when you're ripping stuff, right?
But think about it this way, okay? So you paid $160. You got 6 autos. One of them's a 101. You're going to get some money from that no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's an Ohio State player, so you're going to have buyers that look for that too. But so let's say the 101, let's say you can get $25 for it, right? Which is pretty low amount for a 101 auto.
Yeah.
So you get 25 for that, you get 10 for each of the other ones, just going on the low end. So you got $75. You got half your money back,
Right.
going on the super low end.
Right.
So you're pretty much, even if you get a not very good box, which basically you got a not very good box.
Right.
Even at that, you can get half your money back. Try to get that out of a $900 box of Prism, where you get one auto.
Yeah.
You know. Now, if you did a Hendon Hooker 101 and a Anthony Richardson auto out of 9, you'd be up a couple $100.
Yeah, I mean, it's to your point, like I've occasionally bought a hobby box of something, and even with this not being a big hit, I think this is at least a better return than your average hobby box.
Well, right, and they're still autos. Autos are always going to be in demand. You know, they're low numbered. You're going to find people. I'm always surprised when I shouldn't say I'm always surprised, but I list these, some of these no name guys, and they sell. I have buyers for them all the time. I sell almost all my wild card extra stuff. If you're willing to take on the lower end of it to move it, they'll go. There aren't too many of them. If you got a numbered out of 5, it's you and 4 other guys that are trying to sell it.
So if I'm gonna start a career as a breaker, I need to work on my hype as I open those up, right? Oh my god!
You have to open
defensive lineman, I'm shaking.
You have to open it backwards and have like a special card for your sliding reveal. And
oh yeah, I didn't put the gloves on.
Yeah, I can't do the breaking culture. It's not me. But Tom did some math for us here. He said that if you sold each card at 26.67, you'd break even.
Right.
And that's not completely ridiculous. If you've got, numbered out of 5, you got a couple of, you might look those up and you might be surprised. There might be one of those that goes for $50. It's a lineman that's their only auto. And we kind of talked about it earlier too, that I think this year it's even more important to have some of those cards because they might not be in a lot of sets.
Right.
And Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, they can't sign autographs. They have an exclusive deal. So no Panini autographs or Panini products will have their autographs in them. So it makes some of those pretty rare. Tom says the 5-card draw set specifically is one to keep a card around just to show off the design and quality to promote the product. Been eyeing a few just to get in hand and show it off. Yeah, and you really need to buy from that insider program because you get some nice bonuses. That last box I ripped, I got the hobby box that had 6 autos in it, and then I got a second box that had another 2 autos in it for 150. So I got 8 autos plus I pulled out 101.
Yeah.
For $150. Like that's, and I got some there's chrome base cards in there. I sold a few of those for a couple bucks a piece. So and the chrome cards actually look pretty nice. Let's see if I can pull them up here. So yeah, I mean their products are really well done, and maybe I don't have them around here right now. Hey, there's a Brett Beatty. See, I was listing some baseball that I had laying around.
He's been up and down this season.
I don't know. I'd sold some of his cards earlier this year, so when I find him, I list them because I figure he's a solid prospect.
Well, it's New York, and he was hyped, but then he went through some rough stretches, and his value and his volume of sales really tanked for a while. I'm not sure why he's maybe ticking up again right now because they're not in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of wild card product. It took me a while to get Ethan around on it too. You know, we wanted Panini silver packs at the National, and that was such a dud. We spent $300 on these soccer boxes, which he didn't even want soccer, but it got you the most silver packs. So he bought it. He didn't get crap out of his silver pack, so he's, you know, it's kind of a downer. That's like one of the things you really look forward to at the National. And then we decided to go back to wild card and got some good stuff out of his boxes. We had a lot of fun. We spent half the money we did with twice the value, and it's just they just have really nice products. As long as you don't care about the logo on the helmet and you know the NFL shield on the collar, as long as you don't care about those two things, you end up with some really nice products. I mean that box last year that I opened where I got 2 Purdy autos, one box. I mean you're not going to find that out of a Panini licensed product. So
that's true.
It gives you an opportunity to get a hold of some of that stuff. Even if they sell for less, I'd rather have a card that sells for less than like just flat out not having a chance at getting the card at all. You know, you have no value then. So yeah, did you have fun? Did you like the product? I mean, I'm sure you would have liked to have done better in name wise, but
yeah. I mean, it would have been nice to get one nice hit, you know, of a major name or something like that. But I do like the product. I think it takes me a little bit to get used to getting a product that I never get to hold in my hand. Actually, I mean, I could take it out of the case, but I'm not gonna, you know. That's a little bit of a switch, but as far as the design and the style of the cards, I think they're really sharp. You know, I wouldn't say I'm never going to try them again. I'm sure I will.
So one thing to watch out for them, they've done this the past few years. They do like a stocking stuffer promo. You know, around that St. Nick time of year, so the first week of December, I believe that is. And those are always really good deals. So it's a lot of like it's single packs that they kind of put together in different like bulk deals. So like there's the stocking stuffer one is $20 and you get these 3 packs, and this one is $50 and you get these 5 packs. You know, whatever it is. They have these different tiers to them, which is nice for people budgeting. If you wanted to literally buy it as a stocking stuffer pack, you buy what fits your budget and put it in that person's stocking, right?
Yeah.
But generally what they're doing is they're taking like packs from different things they've released throughout the year and they're putting them together in these like gift packs, right? And there's some really cool cards in those, and it gives you a chance to sort of see some different products without having to spend $150 on a hobby box. You know, you're spending $10 on a pack instead or whatever. Yeah, and I really enjoyed that. I bought some of those I think there was like a stocking stuffer gold package and a stocking stuffer silver package or something like that.
Okay.
So watch out for those. Those are exclusive to Inside Traders. So it sounds so weird for me to say that because I was a stockbroker. So insider trading is that's like the worst thing in your head you could have, and I have to say it all the time because I'm a wild card guy. But yeah, it's they have some really cool, interesting products. They're making a country music product, so that'll be interesting. I know he when I talked to him at the National, he said they were looking at maybe doing some like movie and TV contracts, so like doing Cobra Kai type set or something like that, and it would still be more higher end in terms of you'd get 4 cards, 3 would be autoed, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think they've got some cool things. They had one of the coolest booths at the entire show. I was shocked for just such a small little card company. They had a nice huge space and they did a really good job. So I think that they sell out every product. Like they put this product out inside traders. It'll launch at 7 o'clock. By 7:30, the whole thing's gone.
Yeah, I noticed that everything in their catalog, when you look at it, is sold out.
Sold out. So they're smart. They make just enough product, to just under meet demand so that some value remains. Secondary market's always going to be a challenge for them without the licensing. They have the player's license, but not anything outside of that. So I think they're trying to say, okay, well, we understand that's a more limited markets. We're going to just make these are out of 5, and that's it. And they'll sell in 20 minutes, and too bad, so sad if you didn't get the email and you didn't buy.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's a pretty smart strategy. I think it's kind of fun going forward. I think they're going to have a place. I've sold a lot more wild card in this past year than I have in the last couple years when they first came back. And I bought a ton when they first came back because I was like, wild card's back. But they weren't selling that well, and it's really picked up in this past year. They've gotten a little bit better with products, and some things have improved on their end too. But the market is more accepting of Leaf products and NIL products and things like that than it ever has been before. So it's good.
So
it'll put the pressure on Fanatics that they do actually have to make good products because there is an alternative without licensing.
So what, how would you handle if you got a nice hit and you wanted to get it graded?
Well, you'd have to take it out of that one touch and get it graded.
Yeah, they would have to crack that open and put it in their own. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
and that's okay because it would be authenticated by that grader. So you get the authentic. Basically, the value in this is that sticker over the top, so it's verified that it's real. But PSA would grade it, and it would be authenticated that way.
And they put it in their own slab. Yeah.
Yep.
What I like about ripping this open on the show tonight is look, deck of cards here. Is it kind of shows what we've said all along. That looks better when I have them all turned around that way. But it kind of shows what we've said all along is that you can't make this work ripping products all the time, right? If all you're doing is ripping products,
it's a good example of it.
Than not, you're gonna have a box like this.
Mm-hmm.
Or
worse. I mean, I think worst case scenario on that, you can get half your money back.
Right.
And I would say in most boxes, you don't even get that, especially hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you hit something, of course.
But you see all these shows out there and streamers where everything they open have these huge hits, and it's just not realistic, right?
No, and that's the thing with the magic of television, right? You only have to show what. Like I have bloopers and stuff when I record my videos. I have mistakes or words I trip on, or I knock a stack of cards over while I'm filming. Well, you're not going to see that in the video. That all gets cut to the next thing. So, they're not showing you a lot of the times the dud boxes and dud packs.
Right.
Unless it's a live rip, where it has to be on camera, then obviously you'd see the whole thing. But as far as somebody just opening to have popular content, they're not going to show you the bad stuff. So I like those products. The other thing I like about opening that product is generally if I buy something in a store, it's going to be a blaster box, and I'm going to have a bunch of base cards I got to deal with.
Yeah.
I like the wild card box where I get 6 autos done. Right. Super easy to relist, sell. I can get $15-20 back at a crack. To me that sometimes that's nice versus a bunch of stuff I got to throw in my dime box.
Yeah.
So they make really quality products. You do get I mean, hell, the one touches alone, if you got 6 one touches, that's $18 worth of one touches.
Yeah.
Even if you're like, screw the card, I'm taking it out of there, I'll use the one touch for something else. I mean, you got some value out of that too. You know, those things are $3 to $3.50 a pop now. So yeah, if you're looking for value, but yeah, great products, good boxes.
Oh boy.
I've never opened any. I know, yawning time. I've never opened any basketball from them other than a free pack that I got at the National. It was fun looking product, but it was a bunch of like high school basketball players and stuff. I didn't know any of them. I listed them and I threw them in my drawer. I'm like, well, maybe these guys will start coming along or go to a big college or get drafted or whatever sometime. And boom, I've got something sitting there
Right.
that I got 6 years earlier. I got a Bryce Young auto from the National 2 years ago. They had like a Bryce Young pack that was National exclusive. And I pulled a Bryce Young auto out of it, and I'm like, who the hell's Bryce Young? You know? I mean, now he's a starting, right, now he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. So, and I did sell it. I got, I don't know, $120 for it or something. It was pretty decent money at the time. He didn't really have any cards, so it was probably just a college fan who bought it. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to maybe get an early shot at some of those players too. By the way, Bowman U Chrome comes out next week, the 13th, Friday the 13th. I will be buying a box of that. I had really good luck with it last year. It was fun to rip. It's cheap. It's $125 a box, hobby box. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be my other rip product that I have this year, like hobby rip, not like a $20 blaster rip. Yeah, Caleb Williams, big time at the moment. Yeah, I just had 2 Caleb Williams Sports Illustrated for Kids cards. He was in last month's issue. Sold them instantly. They went right away. So, yeah, he's pretty big. Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything else you want to add tonight? I think we're just about ready to fold this up here. We're at
we're almost 2.5 hours. I think I'm just about back into listing mode. I'm, like I said, counting down the days till I'm back in full listing mode. I got about 75 listed. Was I yesterday? I told you I finally got some time, or the day before.
Okay.
So, well, actually, that must have been the weekend. It must have been Sunday, I think. I shot you that message. So
Yep.
it was nice to get some out there again, because, you know, as we say every week, you gotta list it to sell it. I mean, the whole thing is about listing and shipping and listing, right? So
yeah, right now I'm at 32,504 listings, but that's skewed because I have my auctions kicked off on the first, so I have 500. 500 of those listings are just auctions that I relisted that hadn't sold previously.
okay,
I do that every month. I try to sell 60 of those 500 cards. Because my goal with that is that's my $60 and pays for my store for the month, if that makes sense. That's kind of how I look at it. It's just 60. It's just 500 base Favre cards that I have. I'll usually sell them, and usually the buyers will buy like 6 or 8 at a time, and I'll sell anywhere from 25 to 50 of them on most occasions. I really want to try to hit that 60 number, but it doesn't always pan out. So, but even 50, even if I sell 50 of them and it pays for half my store for the month or something,
right.
you know, that's a nice way to do it. It's just bulk inventory that I have, you know, 100 copies of a card kind of thing. It's a quick sale for me. It's another way to get some listings, get some eyeballs on your stuff. People look at auction listings. They look at auction listings when they're ending, and we'll go to your store. So, and it's super easy because they just sit in my ended listings until I have another 500 free ones next month, and I just simply hit relist. and relist those 500. So anyway, so I'm at basically 32,000 real listings right now. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Did you get your eBay supplies?
I did.
Yeah. What did you buy?
I ordered some thank you stickers this time that I'm going to put on the back of my envelopes.
Oh, good idea. I got my big old tall box of bubbles here.
Yeah.
Bubble envelope. So
That's what I got the first month I had the store. So I didn't really need more of those yet. I actually
I don't need any either. I've got like 500 of them sitting here, but
I actually haven't used any of them yet because when I first started setting everything up, I bought a number of supplies, and I'm still using some of those. So I haven't had to open that up yet to dig into it. But it's good to have that just ready to go when I do need it.
yeah, bubble mailers are extremely expensive, and there's really no way to get a good deal on them. So that's why that's what I order every time.
Yeah.
I wish they had like really cheap, just regular envelopes. I mean, even if it had like the eBay logo on it, I'm sure they would have the eBay logo on it. I'd buy those and then I'd just have envelope inventory every month that I would actually use. I definitely use bubble mailers. I probably use, I don't know, 5 to 10 a week. But not the 100 they send me every quarter.
Yeah.
So they'll last me quite a while. I have 3 full boxes and then another whole stack of a box that I opened. And then I have the full box that I just got. So I've got 4 full, almost 5 full boxes. I've got probably 500 bubbles right now. I use them for other stuff sometimes, like Bree has to ship stuff, or I'm sending stuff to. I mean, you don't have to use them for an eBay sale. You can use them for anything. Sometimes I use them for packing. So I'll put something in it, like let's say I don't have any bubble wrap available. I'll take one envelope, put the card in it, wrap it up real good, and seal it with one bubble envelope, and then put it in another bubble envelope. So I'm using 2 bubbles, but I didn't pay for either of them. So I have zero cost in the supplies. So they're just, they're a great little item. Tom broke 420. Woo-woo, check it out. I've seen a brown cardboard style envelope with eBay logo on it. Not sure if seller stamped it or have them. I think I know which ones you're referring to, but they can't go as a regular envelope. I think they're like a CD envelope or something. So I wouldn't buy those if you're planning to use standard envelope shipping. It wasn't cardboard as much as a thicker recycled brown cardstock. Yeah, exactly. You have to do, I think it's a minimum 2 stamps on that to send it. So I wouldn't order those because I certainly don't want to increase my shipping costs. Even if the supply is free, it's not worth it for the extra shipping cost. So I'll keep my eye out. This time I didn't really look. I just went in and hit reorder on my bubbles and got a box of those ordered. But now that I have as many as I have, at the end of the year when the next quarter expires, I might actually shop in there and see if there's something else I want, since I have 500 bubble mailers right now.
They surprisingly don't have a huge selection in that. I thought they would have more.
They don't, and the prices are kind of high. So, and I want to make sure the stickers are okay, but I don't know that. I mean, you're basically just advertising for eBay. Like if the sticker came with like your store logo on it and your web address or something, you know what I mean? Then I would be like, oh, these are kind of cool. I could use these instead of business cards, and they'd be free and all that. But literally just a sticker that says "Thank you, eBay."
And that's what I was looking for when I went and checked them out. I thought maybe there's an option to customize them, but there's not.
No, so that's why I've kind of always passed on those. But every time I look, I go I go through the list because I don't think I did this last time, but the time before that, I actually looked through the whole list of everything, and I'm like, I still ordered bubble mailers. There still wasn't anything else, and I will use the bubble mailers for my merchandise stuff that I ship too, because I have the coins and the pins and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I get free supplies to ship stuff for my other business.
That's true.
So that's kind of nice because I was spending it's close to $1 for a bubble mailer. You know, if you're buying like a smaller quantity of them. So, oh, if I need something that needs a bubble mailer, I have plenty of them. I just grab those and I use them. And you certainly want to use your free coupon. You don't want to not spend it. You got to buy something.
Absolutely. That's why. Like, was I super excited about the stickers? No, but I was like, I want to use this, and I couldn't see getting another box of bubble mailers because my business isn't like yours yet, right? And
yeah,
I knew I didn't need another box of those, but I wanted to get something out of it. So
well, I do sell a bunch of PSA graded cards. I have a ton of those because that's how I do my PC. I always have wild card, stuff that I ship. If you get real thick orders that have to go, anything over $20 goes in a bubble mailer. So even as a low end card seller, I use them more than I ever thought I would.
And I will eventually use them, but like I said, I had these that I use a lot yet for anything over 20. So once these are gone, I'll probably go into those bubble mailers more.
So you don't have what kind of store subscription do you have? You've got the new basic or?
Yeah, I think it's called basic. Yeah.
So what was your coupon amount?
25 or something.
25. Like okay. Yeah, I get 50.
Okay.
Because those bubble mailers are $38.
Okay.
For 100 of them. So plus tax, which you can't use your coupon for tax because
I noticed
United States laws are stupid. But anyway, so you have to pay your $1.50 or whatever out of pocket. But I don't know. Just the bubble mailers are just so used, and they're really, really nice bubble mailers. Like they're really good quality and stuff too. So
yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, I've even used them for packing material. I had a Funko Pop that I sold, and I was out of bubble wrap. And the Funko Pop actually fits okay in the envelope, and then I put that inside a box. So
that would work.
Yeah. So, I think that's about it as far as the things we needed to cover tonight.
Yeah, we didn't talk about researching a bit, but that's a good carryover topic.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I knew we had a full plate tonight, and I think that's something that we can. I don't want to just throw it in there. I think we want to spend a little time on that.
Agreed. Yeah.
The listing thing sort of came up naturally, so which almost always does. And then, of course, we had to talk about the playoffs because the Brewers are no longer in the playoffs. So that was something that had to be covered, of course.
Yes, I think we've covered that quite thoroughly.
Yeah, better luck next year. There's always next year. All right. On that note, I think we're out of here. Thanks everybody so much for joining us. Please like, subscribe, share this video if you've got somebody else you think might enjoy the content. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of future videos. We are here every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. So join us every week. We'd love to have you. We love the chat. Thanks everybody for bringing up topics and having some fun with us. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, love the conversation. Peace out.
Always.